What's the song that is played where everybody is on the chair, everybody at going to my mind's going blank now. What's happening? What, I can't remember. I'm gonna lose track. My mind's going blank now. What are you talking about? What the hell's going on here? Where the hell are we? My mind's going blank now. I can't remember. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What am I doing here? My mind's going blank now. Where am I headed? I keep forgetting I'm in prison. Where am I? No idea. Last night on the television, I was on a telephone rapidly rising and with I don't know. COVID has taken more than 100 years. Look, here's lives reflected in the NHEI. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was on the foot in we're going to seize the ill-begotten gains of Putin's kleptocracy. NATO's purpose is to defend against aggression. Let me make that near and dear to you that you like to be able to. Anyway, my mind's going blank now. What's happening? What, I can't remember. I'm gonna lose track. My mind's going blank now. What are you talking about? What the hell's going on here? Where the hell are we? My mind's going blank now. I can't remember. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What am I doing here? My mind's going blank now. Where am I headed? I keep forgetting I'm in prison. Where am I? No idea. I don't think as the idea that the political coverage of I want to thank and recognize Dr. John Kingersong. Good song. I can't get this to function at all. My mind's going blank now. What's happening? What, I can't remember. I'm gonna lose track. My mind's going blank now. What are you talking about? What the hell's going on here? Where the hell are we? My mind's going blank now. I can't remember. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What am I doing here? My mind's going blank now. Where am I headed? I keep forgetting I'm in prison. Where am I? No idea. No idea. No idea.
America's southern border has become a war zone. Human traffickers, drug smugglers, and terrorists flow across the Rio Grande with impunity, secure in the knowledge that no one will stop them. A distant federal government lectures Americans on their privilege while punishing overworked border patrol agents who were helpless to stem the tidal wave of invaders and determined migrants. Second-generation Cuban-American Marcos Zamora is a military vet, more patriotic than most Americans. No longer able to ignore the chaos at his doorstep, he acts. Joined by his best friend Gus, they hit the border every night, saving lives while stopping violent drug cartels and other opportunists. The government reacts with fury at Marcos' attempts to preserve American sovereignty, deploying the full might of their enforcement agencies. But Marcos understands that the only thing the rich and powerful fear is bad publicity, and he records every encounter. Whoever he is, this private American must be stopped. Illustrated by Richard Bonk and written by Eisner winner Mike Barron, Private American is his version of Captain America, and maybe a little Punisher, taking part in this ongoing, violent, and very real battle of good versus evil in the war for American sovereignty. Grab your copy at theprivateamerican.com.
We have a secure border, and that is a priority for our administration.
What a crowd, what a crowd. Good morning, folks. How's it going?
Okay.
Oh, what a good day, what a good day. Sorry about that, Nick.
No, you're not.
Myself. I went.
No, guys, I
I'm
will
a little
let
bit
you all
sorry.
in on a secret about my friend Luke, whom I love dearly. If he finds out, like I told him, that I might be running late, he's scheduled spicy stuff. Tells me all the more political or spicy it's going.
Check your mic, bub. Dude, check your mic.
Is that better?
That's better.
Way better. Way better.
I'm sorry. I was on.
You thought you were still at the doctor's, Nick.
Yeah, and I had to pull the mic out because it was echoing. They weren't prepared for an actual.
That's just
setup.
an excuse. That's an
They
excuse.
never are prepared, are they, Nick? I've got a virtual appointment after the show today,
But,
and it's not going to go well. It never does.
But yeah, that's wow.
Yeah, that was a spicy take. That was pretty funny.
That was congratulations, Luke. You are now on some more watch lists, and you brought me along with it. That's good. No,
No, it was funny when I found that song. It was like, sadly, I can relate to this song because I can't remember a lot of stuff. Like lately, I've been.
yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I just got upgraded my phone yesterday. I can't remember any of the passwords, so like I couldn't get into anything. I was like, oh crap. And Beth's like, I'm really worried about you. You can't remember these. I'm like, it was all with my fingerprint. I can't remember anything. But yeah.
Well, it's because you use Apple, right?
It's because I use Apple. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was like,
that's your fault in
yeah,
life.
like my mind's going blank now.
Like
that
that.
way.
Now, see, Luke and I sometimes have differing political views. Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Not always, but sometimes.
No, we're in lockstep on a few things, yeah.
But the one that I will never cease to harangue him is for paying 5 times as much for Apple phone products to get the devices, the functions that have been on Android for years. I'm sorry, that one I won't.
Yeah.
Somewhere between that and the suicide slides. Please don't jump off our buildings if we bus you from our corporate housing to the factory. No, I won't give you any Apple room. Sorry.
No, he doesn't give me any Apple room, but that's all right.
No.
Man, I can tell you what, we got a good show for you guys today.
Oh yeah, no, this is
chat.
fun.
You have
and
no
this is
idea.
danger.
This is a good chat today. Chat, this is a good show today. You have no idea. We've got Glenn. We got Glenn back. He's gonna have to leave early because he's got his own show today. We got Pedro joining the panel. Pedro's getting ready to be a regular staple here. And today we've got none other than Mike Barron, guys.
I'm wearing this in your honor, sir.
Yeah.
Just for the pork pie hat. And if you can read this.
What's that say? I am not in danger. I am the danger.
Nice.
I am the danger, yeah. Mike, how you doing today, man?
Good.
So, Mike, you've written a lot of books over the years. A lot of really good books over the years. And
Well, I've written books.
you've written a few really good books, and then you've written some other books. But you have written them. I'm joking. I'm just teasing you, brother. I really am. I've been a fan of your work for a very long time. In
Thank
fact,
you.
I remember, so back I was about 12, 13, 14 years old. I would go to the comic book shop, and that's when I discovered the back issues of things. And I would go and I would hit those quarter books and just buy, some were even like 10 cents, But I remember that's when I got a hold of, what was the name of that book? DC. See, look, my mind's going blank now.
That cuts it down a bit.
I'll
DC.
remember it later.
Yeah.
But it was like 4 issues or something like that DC ran. Had this like brown character, like this cool character on the front. I really liked it. I'll remember later, and when I remember, I'll be like, oh, that was the name of it. But yeah, that was my first
3
experience.
a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, 3 a.m. tomorrow. That's when that's when that'll happen.
Dude, I have a cryptic message for Sugar Chris. Like,
Oh, okay.
like he's saying, like, I'm in danger because the fishmonger. Like, this has a backdrop. I'm always fighting with the fishmonger. He's always making noise. So he died, and his son took up the business, and he's making noise too. And I'm talking smack about him. He had an accident. He drives a pickup.
Fishmonger. What are you talking about, Pedro?
It's very cryptic, but I have to answer Sugar. Like, dude, like,
So
when
what
I-
you're saying is, if you're a fishmonger and you mess with Pedro Ang, you're going down. That's just how
karma.
it is.
You're gonna sleep with the
thing is,
fishes.
like, the thing like here in Panama, like, we got fishmongers, and they come with a megaphone,
Oh yeah.
But the megaphone, you can't understand what it says. They're like, and dude, it's
Oh, well,
very
that makes
noisy,
sense. That makes
very
sense.
annoying, and he gets on my nerves. So
Well,
the
now
guy,
you know what it's like to watch American news.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the original fishmonger, the dad, died of a stroke or something. Very sad.
Why
And
don't they just say fresh fish like Laurel and Hardy do?
Oh, because people need to know what fish.
Oh, they need to know what kind of fish it is.
Yeah, this is like,
Man.
it's very annoying. And now the son is driving, but he was driving drunk on the pickup, and he had an accident. I saw him like a couple of days back. He's all right, but
Well, that's good. That's good to know that your fishmonger is okay.
yeah.
You know what? That's not a
exactly.
word we use a lot here. Monger, right? We use it for whores. They're a whoremonger.
Yeah.
But that's not really like that's the word's not right, because a monger is like they're like a salesman, right? Like they talk about it, right?
Yeah.
Whoremongers are more consumers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If a Japanese artist wrote
The
a book
butcher,
about-
fishmonger, butcher, the butcher. That was the one. There you go. I remember now.
That is the best mental leap I think I've ever seen you make, Luke. That
Well,
was,
you know,
that
it's
was a
amazing.
beautiful gear shift. I mean,
Gymnastics
Can't
over
compete
here.
with that.
Well, how you guys doing today, Nick? How was your week, man?
Actually, it's been a very good, very busy week. I've been doing a lot of behind the scenes work, as you know, some of on upcoming projects that are going to really, like the end of 2022. I'm going to be squeezing out. There's a possibility of between 3 and 5 titles, depending on how much I get stuff together, and that's with a
man.
vacation in the middle.
Heck yeah,
Of
dude, that's
different
amazing.
books and stuff, because I'm just working on it. I just got a gig offer that I can't discuss because it hasn't been finalized. You know, NDA. But
Oh yeah, I hate NDAs.
Yeah.
I like to talk about stuff.
well, I actually,
Maybe that's why they always put me under an NDA. Like,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
talk
you know.
about stuff. You need to sign this right here.
But that probably won't be till 23 because I love it. I get the message. I know you're busy,
I know you're busy,
but next year, do you think you could squeeze some time in to do this project? And I'm like, all right, here's all my business guy. I like that. I like I know you're busy till the end of the year.
I know you're busy. Yeah.
That's respectful. That's cool. So I can say it's another game design project.
Nice.
And
That's
I
cool,
can
man.
say it's not an RPG.
Ooh,
Oh, look at
well,
that.
now I'm very interested.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing a after we get this RPG launched for hybrids. I'm thinking about doing a card game, putting together a card game. I am very interested in that. Glenn, how was your week, man? Yep. Was that the fishmonger?
No fishmonger. Just a huge truck.
Okay.
My week has been pretty dire, really. As we were saying before, Luke, it's not working out too well. So, bring on the weekend.
We'll talk about that.
But I can
We'll talk
still
about
breathe,
that a little
you know,
bit
I can
today.
still
Maybe
breathe, so I'm
we
okay.
can breathe some life into that, and turn that upside down for you.
Maybe.
Maybe.
What's that song? Gallagher and Lyle. What's that line? It's not the place you're going to, it's the phase you're going through. Well, that's
I've
me.
never heard of it.
Never heard that. You must have heard of Breakaway. You must have heard that. Where have you been?
Oh well, I've not been.
There's a
either,
good
apparently.
chance that was several years before he was born.
Yeah, but
chance.
so was Jesus. He's heard of that.
That's fair.
Wow.
That's fair.
a heck of an
That's fair.
endorsement.
What a story, Mark.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take
You know?
that. I'll take that. Yeah. All right.
Anyway, Mike, see what you've got yourself into.
Right. Yeah. Mike's gonna fit right in here.
Yeah.
Right in here.
That was awesome, man.
You know why?
Comics are awesome.
They really are. Pedro, how was your week, buddy?
Oh, dude, it's been a very busy week. RJ has just informed me that all the books are on their way for Tropical Magic. The backers are going to get their books really soon. I've been working on my new project called Waifus and Kaiju. So if you're into
Waifus and kaijus.
and Kaiju,
I'm telling you what, it is right there. It is up your alley.
yeah.
I'll tell you,
if you're
it's
into
in the
like
title.
into mecha anime of the 80s, it's kind of like that. So it's like
Yeah.
giant robot mixed a little bit with true mecha, and dude, the scope is huge. Like the name is kind of like I don't know, like not that deep, but the story, like Ginger's writing, it's amazing. Like I'm amazed at all the things he's coming with. So yeah, like we're gonna launch the campaign in November, and also I've been reactivated. Like I've been making a video game for the last 2 years, and now like the programmers just called me and they reactivated the whole thing. Like I finished the animation like 8 months ago. So hopefully, like I don't want to say they can disappear again, but they start activating again. So you can get by Machete Law, which is like a like a Ninja Turtles in time kind of thing, like 4 characters beat 'em up kind of thing, like retro game. Yeah, so we're coming up with that real soon. So yeah, it's been exciting.
All right, Mike, how was your week, buddy?
So far, so good.
All right, that's good to hear. I mean, it is towards the end of it, so if you made it this far, chances are the rest will be pretty decent. It is early where you're at, right? You're in Mountain Time.
7:20.
7:20, man. I'll tell you, that's some commitment. That's some commitment to shill. I'll tell you, isn't that the truth? So we're going to talk about your book today.
More grit for the grind. That's all that is.
Yep. You're almost 20,000 right now, aren't you? You're getting there.
Yeah, we're aiming a lot higher than that. But we got to make that 20,000 before we get to the second stretch goal.
Right, yeah.
And I want to know what people can expect. If you are disgusted with what Marvel has done with Captain America and the Punisher,
yes,
the Private American is the antidote to that. I conceived the character by thinking, what would Captain America be doing today if he were being written by rational people? Well, he'd be down on the southern border trying to stem the flow of fentanyl, human trafficking, cartel drugs, and terrorists that are streaming across the border. And when we first meet Marco Zamora, he's interrupting a rape in the most delightful way possible. You may not know this, but every girl or woman who crosses the southern border gets raped as part of the price of passage. And this is what the current administration has created. The other day, the Border Patrol intercepted 420 pounds of fentanyl, enough to kill everybody in this country 4 times over. However, Private American is first and foremost an entertaining drama. There are no speeches, there are no bumper stickers. It just takes off like a rocket on the first page, and you won't be able to put it down. There's also a great deal of Punisher in there. I've always loved the character, the type of character, the vigilante who takes things into his own hands because the government can't or won't is a staple of American literature and history, from the days of Wild Bill Hickok and Doc Holliday to Death Wish starring Charles Bronson, Dirty Harry starring Clint Eastwood. And if this were a rational world, we wouldn't be dealing with this problem because no organism, neither a single cell nor a nation, can survive without controlling its borders. It's just that's something even a child understands.
That's why we put up that "Don't Trespassing" sign on our door, our bedroom door. I got to tell you, Mike, you're the best. Some of the best Punisher books that I ever read were the ones that you had written in the early '90s.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm proud of those too.
You know, that is when I was introduced to the character. I didn't know anything about Punisher, until I, I was into comic books early on, but it wasn't until early '90s when I was able to ride my bike to the comic book shop and go there and buy my own stuff with my allowance and stuff.
That after you passed your 32nd birthday?
Yeah, it was after my 32nd. It was my. I was 12. Oh. At the time, 92, 13, 14. Really, those were like formidable years in my life. And so when I got a hold of those Punisher books, I mean, that was my first experience with the Punisher was things that you had written. So in my mind, what the Punisher is what Mike Barron made him for me. That's the Punisher.
Well, you're very kind, Luke. Well, Thank you very much. But if you like my Punisher, you're going to love Private America.
Well, I think I'm going to. I mean, when you said that it was Captain America with a bit of Punisher, right away I was like, well, nobody can write that better than
Mike Barron. I can't really lie. Like, I discovered the Punisher on a video game. It was like the Punisher and Nick Fury. Like, that's the first time I saw the character. Because I live in Latin America, we don't have like a comic book tradition. I discovered you at 32, Mr. Barrett. So I wasn't riding a bike. But speaking about private American as a Latino, I want to thank you for tackling this problem. Because, yes, it's the American border, but the trek starts in my country.
Yeah.
Like you get like African migrants, you get people from South America. They all go to the Darien Gap, which is already treacherous. Women will get raped there because that's the first, and they will get raped in every country going on: Costa Rica, Guatemala, Honduras. It's horrible.
That's not acceptable to me.
It's horrible. And the thing is, like, yeah, some people are very desperate. They can make it down here. It's not everybody. So I'm not really gonna criticize their plight. If they're doing that treacherous trek, it's for a reason.
Yeah, I do it too. You know,
Yeah.
for a better life for myself and my family.
Exactly.
And Marcos doesn't go after the immigrants who are pouring over the border.
Mhm.
He goes after the cartels.
Yeah,
which are
exactly.
Guys.
$7,000 a head to transport you into the United States.
It's
How
more.
much? How much?
It's $700 at the American border.
7,000.
7,000 at the American dollar. At the American border.
That's right. And most immigrants don't have that money, so they owe the cartels. For the women, it's prostitution. For the men, it's smuggling drugs. And this is an entirely synthetic situation created by the present administration.
Mhm.
And when most decent Americans think about it, their first question is why? Why would our own government try to destroy the country? Well, I mean, there are a lot of reasons. I don't want to get into that. But again, I want to stress that this is an exciting, dynamic story that's going to have you on the edge of your seat. No lectures,
Awesome,
no bumper stickers, all action and drama with flashes of humor, because every story must contain a flash of humor. Shakespeare understood that. Even Schindler's List has a few jokes.
Yeah.
One or two, yeah. Hey, let's go to the chat real quick and invite and welcome people that are here. Please feel free to comment this morning. I know many people listen while you're at work, and we promise some good conversation this morning. But let's welcome. We've got RJ from Critical Blast is here. Welcome. We got Matt C.
RJ.
from Rise and Grind.
Oh, RJ.
Rise and Grind, Matt C. Welcome. We got Hojo in the house. Welcome, Hojo. That intro made me spit out my breakfast. It was pretty funny. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, my people can dance. Damn.
Yeah. We got Skip Edwards here. Hey, Luke. What's up, man? Good to have you here. Agent Zero is in the house. Hello, all. Looking forward to this show. Hey, Mike Barron. Agent Zero is a big fan of yours, Mike. We were just talking about
Thank
that
you,
last
Agent.
night. He was like, oh my gosh, you got Mike Barron on tomorrow. I said, yeah, it's going to be fun.
Agent, I'm going to give you a real number.
Yeah.
Nice.
Not a 0. Give him a real one. Like a 002.
Double round two. Yeah.
Sugar Chris is in the house. Good lineup, folks, here. Yes. Welcome.
Up, sugar.
Let me see who else we got. We got a lot of conversation going on. OMG, Mike Barron, Hojo says. I wouldn't even be here making my own comic had he not looked at my script last year and said I had something eternally grateful. Thank you for that, man. Appreciate it. Hey, Pedro. Every single copy of Tropical Magics just went out the door. They're on their way. Awesome. So I backed it. I don't know if you did or not.
Yeah.
But I backed it. I'm looking
I
forward
saw
to
the
it. It's
list,
gonna
man.
be a good time.
I want to thank everybody for believing in me. This is my first project, and this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Now, you said you were 12 in '92. I was already in college, man.
Yeah, I was 12. Yeah, I'm 42 right now. Yeah, that's what I am. In '92, I was 12 years old. So yeah,
I was like 19.
We got Aaron Jordan in the house. Welcome, Aaron. Good to have you here. Another fantastic creator. Man, we've got a very talented chat. That's what I'm noticing. We've got just all kinds of talent in the chat. We got Eric Hawkins here. Good morning, all. Eric Hawkins does again just amazing books and stuff like that. And we got Statistical Zero here today. Always great to see the Bloody Red Baron, throat grabbing master. Hello, all. Great to see you again. Welcome. All right, now feel free to comment and be a part of the conversation today. You are probably the most important part of our show every week. We really wouldn't have a show. Well, we probably still would. We'd just be talking to ourselves.
We'd be talking into space.
So, Luke, I'd like to point out that yesterday Twitter suspended our account.
No way.
I posted the notice on your Twitter private feed if you care to share it with the audience. No reason was given. There's nothing vulgar, disgusting, obscene, or violent about the private American Twitter account. I suspect it's because
It's
it
political.
goes against the narrative, and Elon Musk has not yet taken over. So they do what they always do, which is to ban anything that they don't like, that they don't agree with.
Yeah, let me throw
This
this in
is-
here real quick.
While
Yeah,
this
pull
is
that
going
up,
on,
would you?
This goes right into my first question that came to mind when I started putting the pieces together. You have been influential on Punisher, a very controversial title. Obviously, Private American, wherever you feel on the political spectrum, another very controversial title, and I think very deliberately so. I'm hearing a lot of things that are and that's not a shot. Please don't take this as a shot.
Well, no, I mean, it boggles the mind that this subject is controversial. It shouldn't be.
Well, I was literally about to ask you because part of my job here is to not agree with Luke
Yeah.
all the time. Even a lot of times, even when I do, I have to stop and go, okay, what's the other side
That's
gonna
the other
say?
argument, yeah.
I'm a centralist. I'll put that right out on there. I'm an issue by issue centralist. But okay.
No, keep talking.
Okay. But well, I got blanked out, so I want to make sure everything was cool.
Yeah, just showing it. Yeah, it would have blocked everybody out, but
As
it's not big
a
enough. That's what she said.
as somebody who's writing about very politically charged things, what kind of pushback have you gotten? And this is obviously an example. And what kind of pushback can you expect? Because there are a lot of creators who they either want to say stuff that maybe will offend the social justice warrior types, and some want to create stuff that will offend the CG types. And I get a lot of people who ask me about, well, aren't you worried about pushback for saying X or Y or Z from whatever circles I travel in? So since you've been in the business so long and you've covered so many influential right now the Punisher is still a very controversial figure. There's a big discussion.
Well, he's controversial because they bastardized and emasculated him. But getting to your first question, what kind of pushback have we got? We submitted Thin Blue Line to every major publisher, and some of the responses we've got were, fuck you, fuck the police. Now, we knew they were going to do this, and that's why we submitted it to them. The same thing with Private American. Of course, there's no reputable company would touch this because they're all in on the narrative, and you know what the narrative is. I don't have to tell you. But we do this deliberately so that we can tell people what happened. The Twitter suspension came out of the blue. We still can't figure that out. But now that it's happening, we're letting everybody know that Twitter has banned a comic simply because it goes against the regime's narrative. The southern border is secure. That's Kamala Harris speaking at the end of the video. The southern border is secure. She wouldn't know because she's never been there. And well, I don't want to. I'm sure
Here's the truth is the southern border is not secure, and there is a serious human trafficking issue, and people's lives and livelihoods are at stake, and we have to fix the immigration process. All these people that need refuge, that need to be in and have some kind of a method for letting them in, but we have to keep out the bad guys. The wolves are coming in with the sheep.
That's right.
And there needs to be a sheepdog out there to fend off the wolves.
And instead they've been laying off Border Patrol agents and hiring IRS agents. It's as if this administration has declared war on its own country. That over the years, I've seen this slide is to the left. It was gradual, then all of a sudden it lurched hard left. But these people represent a minority, and not a very big minority at that, maybe 20% of the population. But they understand one thing they understand, and that's propaganda. And that's how they seize power. But the vast majority of the American people are opposed to the way the country is going. I don't pick topics just because they're controversial. I pick them because they're interesting to me, and because it's the stuff of drama. Now, I don't have to remind you people how often the traditional Hollywood and television has vilified anybody who's conservative. I remember one episode of Preacher where they had an army of zombies lined up to attack a town, and all the zombies were wearing red "Make America Great" hats. So you know who the zombies are. And I don't want to go into the weaponization of our Justice Department. We all know about it. But that is a factor in the show. I mean, in the comic, because when the government becomes aware of what Marcos and Chris are doing, they go berserk and say, we have to stop this before anybody finds out about it. But that's just a part of the story.
Because information information is important.
So
And
what I want to ask,
controlling that flow,
is,
I could see where that government would want
while this is obviously fiction, obviously, do you feel that that's because again, I'm seeing the parallels between Punisher very heavy and the parallels between Punisher and Private Citizen. Sorry, newish title to me. Please don't take that as
Private American.
Private
and
American.
The reason he's called Private American is one of the immigrants that he saves says, "Who are you?" And he says, "I'm just a private American."
So you're the G.I. Joe naming pattern. I like that. But because who are you? We're just a couple regular Joes, you know. I like that. Do you have any concern about inspiring vigilantism with this or with your work in? No. I know this sounds silly, but part of my job is to ask the questions.
The silly questions.
Yeah, no, really. I'm still serious. I know. It's.
So here's the thing. Nick understands the argument of the left very well. So here's the thing. I used to vote Democrat. I used to be a registered Democrat, and then they moved the goalpost on me, because the Democrats used to believe in a secure border. Like all the stuff where they stand now is not where they stood 10 years ago.
Biden himself said so. Of course, Biden has spoken on every side of every issue throughout his career.
He really has.
I don't inspire vigilantism. Vigilantism inspires me. And if you want to know the truth, is the people who have been living down there on the border have been acting as their own police for years because they have no recourse. The Border Patrol isn't going to come when they call. I read a couple of weeks ago about a man living in Texas where some illegal immigrants came to his door and tried to get in, started pounding on the door. So he got a gun and showed it to him through the window. So they all ran next door to where his grandmother lived and broke down the door and went in there. And if you know, I mean, if they were reporting honestly, there'd be story after story of private citizen dealing with these people. Some actually put water out them to help them survive. They understand that most of these immigrants just want a better life. But if they're accompanied by coyotes, they'll kill you as soon as look at you. And we all know, we've all heard about immigrants found suffocated to death in the back of moving vans once the coyotes fled them and just abandoned the truck in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And this goes on every day. The vigilante, as I said, is a staple of American literature and has to do with the settling of the American West. Get out of here, boys!
They're fine. My dog's all the time making silly noises in the back.
Oh no! You talked about
Western
enough coyotes.
Western.
It sounded like they were coming.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, whoa.
Mike, you better watch out. They're in the room.
No, and please, I know this is probably not what you expected, but the other part of my job is to keep this from just being here's a shill show. What?
Yeah. No. This for me, this is interesting because the kind of the topic. I think we read these things and we hear about these things and we think, what can we do to bring awareness without being preachy, and without just being more talking points and talking heads. And I think the idea of talking about the real heroes and just fictionalize them a little bit, because there are real heroes down there. The Border Patrol, they are real heroes. The citizens that are doing their part to police their front yard, literally.
But
They are.
They can't imprison these people. Sometimes they can hold them, but the
Yeah.
border patrol is stretched so thin that there's no guarantee that they'll ever come and pick these immigrants up. And then what does the government do? It flies them all over the country in the middle of the night, unvetted, unvaxxed.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean, the legal recourse is deportation, but now the flood of people, it's so vast, it's really expensive to basically uphold the law.
But is it even right to just drop a bunch of people off in the middle of the wilderness somewhere?
No. Okay.
Like there's the human decency aspect of it too.
I
like
got
these are
you.
people. Like these are
Yeah.
people. Whether you believe in God or not, his son died for these people, right?
Dude, I'm talking about my people, Luke. Like,
right,
I'm
I know,
from
I get it,
America.
dude, I get it.
And the thing is, like, the problem I see, it's the American policies. It started with Biden because you can see it in the numbers. Like, you get people walking from South America through Panama, it would be like 3,000 to 4,000 a month. Now we're talking about 20,000 people walking, and not all of them make it to the Mexican border. A lot of people are dying, especially Venezuelans. Because Venezuelans is like completely destroyed by communism, and those guys are everywhere. Like, you go here in Panama, all like the menial jobs. Hey, chamo, ¿cómo estás? Venezuelan accent. And you go to Colombia, you go to South America, and they are all planning their trek to the U.S. because that's the promised land. People might want to say, like, oh my God, like you like a gringo kisser. I'm not a gringo kisser. I stay in my country. I love it here, and I learn a way to make it here. Okay, so I have no intentions to move legally or illegally to anywhere.
Pedro, you're a nice looking guy. I'm sure some gringos will let you kiss them.
Oh, dude, the guy I've done, like, the gringos come here for tourism. Like, I show them around. It's really nice. So, but what I mean is that these Biden policies are affecting people's lives. People are losing their lives because of this. So that I'm so stoked that Mr. Barron is tackling this topic like this, because I'm waiting. I was waiting for Marvel DC to have like Batman at the border, like, dude, make people
saving
aware
lives.
of what's happening. Yeah, these people are
stopping
dying.
rapes, stopping drug dealers, man. I'm telling you,
Yeah, dude.
But they're not going to give it to us.
I'm not worried about inspiring vigilantes, because if you read the book, you'll find that Marcos and Chris are very admirable characters, and if you want to emulate them, you'll be doing good things. You know, I mean, the only people he attacks are murderers and drug smugglers.
Right.
So let's
those exist. Like, if you don't have the rule of law, the black market would take over, and that's what's happening.
Exactly.
And it's a huge industry.
What's that saying that the only thing needed for evil to prevail is for good men to do nothing?
Yeah.
I think that's what I love about the comic book storytelling aspect, is that we, that it's good men and women that stand up and do the right things. When they did what they did with Captain America, it just pissed me off. Because here's a good man. This is he is the pinnacle of good men. And they've done what they did to him. Punisher was fun because it was a good man who did bad things.
Yeah, I mean,
it's because
it's
we can relate.
Man.
Yeah, it's like what happens to a good man when you push him too far.
Exactly.
Now some of those stories are fun, but you still need that hero to look up to. That
John Gardner wrote a book called On Moral Fiction, which I think makes a great point, which is that if you embrace a story, a novel, or a movie, or a comic, you want evil punished and good rewarded. Now, this doesn't always happen. Sometimes good goes down with evil, like Spartacus. At the end of Spartacus, they crucify him. But as he's hanging on the cross, his wife goes by with his baby son and holds it up so that he can see it. And it's a bittersweet ending, but you know that Spartacus dies with the knowledge that his son will live. And the reader will feel cheated if evil triumphs in the end and the good people all suffer or die. And I believe in that to a certain extent. I mean, there are many fascinating books where the bad guy is the star, and it's all about how evil he is. Pete Dexter wrote one, Cormac McCarthy, any of his books, George MacDonald Fraser in his Flashman series. But those are the exceptions. And you read Dexter and McCarthy because they write so vividly. And there are many ways to hold a reader's attention. And one of them is the seductive narrative voice. And that's the story with Dexter and McCarthy and writers like Michael Chabon, for example, or James Elroy. They write in such a unique and powerful style that you're going to follow them wherever they go because the words are just so irresistible. You follow that trail of words through a wilderness just to hear their voice. But that's just one reason to make people care about a story. There are a million ways to make people care. The most important thing is what happens next. That's the essential question in all fiction. And the reader has to care before he turns the page. Well, how do you make the reader care? One way is to offer a fascinating character, somebody you just can't get enough. And Sherlock Holmes is the archetype of that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. There are many more Sherlock Holmes novels written after Conan Doyle's death than before. Or you can have a fascinating situation like Jurassic Park. We're all fascinated by dinosaurs, and who doesn't want to attend a park that has the real thing and see what follows, because that promises drama too. And third is the seductive narrative voice, which each writer has to find on their own. You have to refine your own voice until you find it. And I found mine. What I try to do when I write is to keep my presence invisible. I want the story to unfold without the reader thinking about the writer. I want the reader to immerse himself completely in the story to the exclusion of all else, so that if somebody interrupts him like, "Dear, it's time for dinner," he gets irritated. "Would you wait a minute? Let me finish this chapter."
Right. Wow. This was, I know you didn't intend it, but this is clippable. That's a master class.
Yeah,
writing right there. That is.
I feel schooled.
I feel like I should be taking some notes. I mean, that's
just
genius.
PayPal me $10.
All right.
Yeah. Just kidding. Hey, Zero. No team up in the future, but I am working on a new Badger story.
Good. Awesome. Very good.
Excellent.
So,
And beautifully done and said. Like I said, I love when I have someone who's an authority in the field. Because with some of the newer creators, you have to be very gentle with them. You have to be kind of, okay. Because it's scary coming in. With somebody like you, I can go, here are the hard questions that somebody might ask, but they're too chicken shit to hear the answer. Pardon my French there. But, and it's like, okay, I'm going to ask that because I know that there would be people asking that, and there's so many people.
I love talking about writing.
And again, and hearing how you write and your approach, because one, from a pure commercial, you've done it. There are a lot of people who come up on shows like this and they talk about, well, I'm doing this and I'm such a great writer. It's like, dude, you put out 3 books in 5 years and 2 of them cracked a couple hundred copies. Good on you. I respect it. But when you get somebody like you who's been in the business, dare I say properly, for a long time.
For a very long time.
When you hear about the proper channels and stuff, which while I'm opposed to proper channels, I respect those who have survived and flourished in that environment.
Yes. And now is surviving and flourishing in the new channels that we're creating. So
exactly.
Cameron Payne is one of our channel members. Thank you so much for being a channel member, Cameron.
Thanks, Cameron.
This gentleman sounds like an awesome storyteller. Cameron, I'm not sure if you are familiar with Mr. Mike Barron, but he has written some of the best comic books of the 90s, 2000s, and a couple of the best in the 80s, in the late 80s.
Also, I'm a novelist, and I have 16 novels in print. If you go to Amazon, type in Mike Barron, you'll get 22 pages.
Oh, dude.
And one of these series is called Biker. It's about a reformed motorcycle hoodlum who goes to prison, finds God, gets out, and tries to turn his life around. This is brutal, fast-paced crime fiction. There are nine in the books, 9 of them out now. I'm working on the 10th. I have 3 Florida Man novels out. What is Florida Man? It's the funniest book you'll ever read. I guarantee you will burst out loud laughing many times. Yeah, and I've
Well,
gotten
Florida
people
Man's very
say,
funny.
I was listening to Florida Man on audio, and I had to pull over to the side of the road. I was laughing so hard, and I was reading Florida Man in bed, and my wife kicked me out because I kept laughing so much.
So here's what's amazing. Here, and I do have a question. I know people that are good at comedy. They're good at superheroes. They're good at crime. They're good at they're good at a certain genre. They've really got that niche about them. You tend to be able to write in just about anything you put your mind to. So what is the mindset on switching from something like The Private American to Florida Man and back and forth and that kind of stuff?
Well, with every book I do, I start by making notes in a pad. I write down names, situations, ideas until I achieve a critical mass. And by that, I mean I can see the contours of the story. And then I write an outline. And my style doesn't change that drastically from book to book, except in Biker, which has several times it has novels within novels, where Josh Pratt has to read a book from the 50s to gain insight about something he's doing, and I try to emulate that style. I go wherever the story takes me, and as I said, my goal is to be invisible as a storyteller. I want the story to be everything. The challenge with Florida Man is to get Gary into the most embarrassing and humiliating situation I can and see how he reacts.
Yeah, Florida Man's very funny, and as a Florida Man, I can tell you it's very relatable. I think Gary is based on one of my neighbors. Just saying,
I'm glad to hear that. I love hearing that.
Yeah, I mean, just saying. So there's a rumor that I've heard going around that says that there are several mainstream, quote unquote, comic book writers that are using AI to write their comic book scripts.
That ain't gonna work.
But
I mean, anybody can spot AI writing. Sounds like Joe Biden talking.
Right. Poor guy. But yeah. But so I mean, I'm not sure. Like I said, it's just a rumor. But there does seem to be a in modern comics right now a formula that they're using, and it really a lot of it tracks like PSAs. You know, like those old cartoons in the 80s and 90s, you know, like the more you know. You know, because they put those in the cartoons because the government was trying to regulate the ability to commercialize cartoons for toys and toys for cartoons. They didn't really like that cycle because parents were spending a lot of money on G.I. Joe, Ninja Turtles, stuff like that, right? So the producers, in order to kind of get around that, they started to put in public service announcements to kind of, you know, like, hey, the cartoon teaches morals or whatever, right? Which none of us really cared about that. I mean, as a kid, I understood exactly what that was. I knew He-Man really wasn't telling me, well, you know, like this is the right thing. I mean, I was like, oh, someone told He-Man that he got to come out and tell me the right thing to do. Here I am, a little kid, and I understood that. You know, people think kids are stupid. They're not. They're not that stupid. Some of them are.
Not that.
Not that. Some of them are. I mean, I met a few that are. I mean, I can't believe they're still breathing. I can't believe they remember to breathe.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, some of the greatest books are didactic and instructive. I'm thinking of To Kill a Mockingbird, For Whom the Bell Tolls, and what's that one? The one about the Dust Bowl. I'm just drawing a blank here.
Oh yeah.
Not great.
I know what you're talking about.
Henry Fonda stars.
Right. Yeah.
The Grapes of Wrath.
The Grapes of Wrath. Yeah.
Grapes of Wrath. Now, all those books espouse liberal points of view, but none of them are insulting or offensive. And the points of view that they espouse come down to common sense and common decency. And that's why those books endure to this day. Today, a lot of books have an axe to grind and hit you over the head with a sledgehammer. And it doesn't work as entertainment because they forgot rule number one, and that is entertain.
Entertain. Yeah.
But To Kill a Mockingbird Harper Lee understood that. It's a very entertaining book, and so is The Grapes of Wrath. And that has to do with both the subject matter and the seductive narrative voice.
I love how you put that your goal is to be invisible in the story.
That's so different than modern writers and this is what drives me nuts is I see that on both sides of the political extremes.
Mm-hmm.
Because whereas Luke says he's a leftist, he started out left and watched the left slide. I've been pretty much dead center, watching both sides just pull farther and farther apart into tribalism, to the point where I want to grab everybody and go, we're all, at least in America, Americans, and we're all humans on this earth. Can we stop yelling at each other and start addressing problems, you know?
Shut up and fix it.
Yeah, dude, you guys are so lucky to have political beliefs. Like down here, we see a candidate, okay, another thief. Like we don't trust anyone down here. And it's like when I see you like so adamantly discussing about politics, I'm like, wow, that's novel.
You know, Pedro, I just finished watching the latest season of Narcos Mexico.
Yeah,
one of my favorite shows because it reeks of reality. You look at that show, you believe everything in it because most of it is true.
Yeah,
but it is shocking. It's shocking that they get away with it and they show it, that nobody's tried to shut them down. But I would urge everyone to see the whole Narcos series. It's just one of the greatest TV shows of all time.
Yeah, Mike, I lived in Colombia for 6 years, from 92 to 97. That's not 6 years, but whatever. The problem with Latin America is that we have normalized violence and normalized crookedness.
Yep.
Like when you see a politician, it's like, okay, this guy's out to rob me, and he's out there because he bought the votes. So if you see people like making campaign for something, okay, how much are you getting? So it's very cynical. It's a very cynical existence.
Yes, and it's permeating our country as well.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, you find solace in private endeavors. Like, I like to think of myself as a complete human being, and that I can relate, and I have empathy and whatnot, but not when it regards politics. Because it's just, you feel dirty. The moment
civilization depends on the rule of law.
Yeah, exactly.
The rule of law or you're not. I mean, you may disagree with the law, but there are means to change it.
Yeah.
But that only happens when you have two sides that are willing to work with each other. What you're describing, what you have described, is the classic liberal. And liberal used to mean tolerant of other people's point of view. And I don't know what happened to the classic liberal. There are very few left.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge
Mike, one of them is right. One of them is right above you on the screen. One of those classic liberals.
It's funny because in 2 beats I can instantly be told I'm a horrible conservative, because I'm about to say what you were talking on made me start thinking about the United States Constitution and what a beautiful document it is. And I really believe that in the top maybe 5 documents that have ever been written, the United States Constitution.
Oh, I agree with you. I think it's the pinnacle of Western civilization.
And I see this instantly gets like I get misty-eyed. I'm not even joking. I genuinely get passionate and misty-eyed on the subject of our rights and preserving them for everyone.
Because we love America.
I hear that's why I had to ask some questions about your comic, because I think when I think about the immigrants that come to America, my first thought, and I can't quote it right, I have foggy brain, but it's the poem that's on the underside, on the bottom of the Statue of Liberty. Bring us your poor, your tired, your huddled masses. And I'm what gets me is I'm sickened on behalf of the victims in it who are just trying to make a better life. Because my opinion is on the whole immigration thing is it's a lot like prohibition, where prohibition made a opportunity for the gangsters to do what they did. And the only way to really get rid of that was to remove the opportunity. If we cleaned up the border and we refined how we process people who want to come to America, excuse me, that's my emergency alarm to did I take my meds? But
You're not going to flop out on us, are you?
no, I am diabetic, but no, I take all my stuff early. It's just I'm
Just don't
absent-minded
pass
enough
out.
to
Just
put
don't
that
pass
there.
out.
But so I hear a lot of it's like one side will talk about what the plight of the immigrants, and one side will talk about the problem of the people who are. I'm going to use the term gangsters because I see the parallel. You know, the gangsters who are profiting and are being predatory to these people who are just trying to make a better life.
The cartel's net income per annum 3 years ago was $1.3 billion. This year, it's $13 billion.
And see, that's what.
So here's my big issue. What Nick is saying, what Mike is saying, what Pedro is saying can be culminated in one thing. There is a common understanding that something needs to be done about the border. And at one point, the Democratic Party said, look, we want to reform immigration and fix it, right? Well, here's the deal. They have control. They have complete control of the government right now. And yet they've shut their eyes to the border and they're lying about it, saying, oh, it's more secure than it's ever been. Bull. It is not more secure. They have the power to change it. Look, I'm a libertarian. You have the power to change it. Just do it. Fix it. Fix it before you get voted out.
Never going to happen. You know, the people that want political power the most are those least qualified to wield power.
True.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This is one of those I got in trouble. I believe that, the older I get, the more I believe it. That at least the House of Representatives should not be an elected position. It should be like jury duty. Somebody is randomly selected from, the populace and say, congratulations.
Well, that'd be nice if we could trust the artificial intelligence.
Well, I mean,
but listen, guys, I'm going to have to check out here in a minute. And I just want to say we're within spitting distance of the second stretch goal. Within spitting distance of $20,000. Help us go over the top so we can move on to the next stretch goal. You take a look at the book, take a look at the video, and thanks for your support.
Thank you for coming on the show. And, while this is getting set up, which it is now, thank you for this. It's wonderful to be able to have the kind of conversation with somebody who's eloquent and educated on their perspective. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Luke.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
Thank you for
Pedro.
being here. Everybody.
Thank you all who watched.
Mr. Bennett, you have taken us to school, and I'll
yeah.
be eternally grateful for this one. And
I'm taking you
on the
home.
campaign. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So we're going to take a real quick look at this while Mike goes about his day. Guys, let's check out this campaign. Let's bacon wrap it a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
We are so close. We're less than $500 away from hitting the $20,000 mark. Let's put a little love on this project. Clearly, Mike knows what he's talking about. He took us to school with writing today, telling about storytelling. I think that this is going to be a well-crafted story, and it's going to make us think about one aspect of the things that we're dealing with in our country that maybe we don't get to see a lot, and that's the people that are suffering. And so this is a way for us to see that and to be entertained through it. And Mike's already said that he wants to be invisible with this in his storytelling. So we know we're not going to get Mike. We're going to get facts, and we're going to get entertainment storytelling through the eyes of this private American hero guy here. Which, I mean, the art looks cool. Look at that. He's shooting a gun, holding a knife, and roundhouse kicking a bad guy all at the same time. Now, if that isn't American, I don't know what is.
Yeah, dude.
I
And
think
the artist
I
is
actually
top-notch,
know
man.
what got him in trouble with Twitter. In all actuality, I think I know what got him in trouble. the Private American, his logo is the "Don't Tread on Me"
Yeah.
flag.
Yeah.
And that iconography may be enough. I know this is not me agreeing per se. This is me saying I
Trying to
bet
figure
that
out-
was enough to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just pointing it out. Yeah, we get it, Nick. You're
This
just
art is
pointing
awesome.
out yeah, oh, dude, like, dude, the artist in this book,
Oh yeah,
it's top notch, and his last name is Vonk, which is a great onomatopoeia for getting hit upside the head.
oh
He
yeah,
did, yeah.
Vonk.
He's
hope
gonna
they
vonk
use that
you
at
with his
least
art.
once.
Yeah.
He's gonna vonk you with his art.
Oh yeah,
I'd also be remiss if I did not say that Mike Barron also wrote "Smokes the Fox"
Yes.
for my friend Justin Belmont, and did a fantastic job on that as well. And Justin is trying to breathe new life into his campaign to raise enough money to have Mike write his second script. So
okay.
yeah, so if one of my mods can throw that link in the comments as well, I would really appreciate that, so that you can get all of Mike's work. I mean, Mike's a tremendous writer and a wealth of knowledge. Those that came today, hopefully you found out that you've got a real opportunity to learn something from a master. So yeah, this book looks really fun. It looks entertaining. Just the premise of Captain America and a Punisher type character taking care of real bad
I'll be
guys
honest,
at the border.
I see a lot more from what I'm seeing. I see a lot of the Punisher. I'm not.
There's a lot of
I
Punisher
can't lie
there.
and say I don't see Cat. Can't lie and say I see a lot of Cat because I don't in what's being highlighted. Now,
Yeah, I
that
see a
might
lot
be
more
heavier
Punisher. Yeah.
in the writing, but this very much looks much more Punisher than.
I think motivation is very Cap. Method is very Punisher. It
And
looks
see,
like,
if you stop at that one, that's an incredibly Cap inspired image.
Yeah, I can't, man. I
Right.
can't wait for this book. I'm excited about it, guys. I'm gonna pop this link again here in the comments. Here's the thing: YouTube allows you to follow a link while you're still watching. So follow that link and go back this right now. This is don't forget to do this. What a cool book. What a cool story to tell too. So pretty excited about that. Now the last thing I want to talk about, like we're going to talk about today, is I've got I'm very interested in this the fact that a lot of people are a bit overwhelmed by crowdfunding and by the idea of putting your work out for others to see and to speak with their dollars. Crowdfunding is a brutal process to get your work seen. You go through this process of getting the work ready, but then you have to present it to an audience, and trying to find that audience through crowdfunding can be it's so daunting and overwhelming that some people, like what I was talking with Glenn about earlier today, they just feel like they just want to throw it in. They just want to throw in the towel and say, forget it. I'm not even going to do this. And I know Pedro's off camera and without a mic.
Well, there's a lot.
Sorry, it's just that I'm doing breakfast.
Oh, I understand that. Okay.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
So I wanted to ask you this, Pedro, because
Sure.
you've been in the crowdfunding thing, and now this last book, this was your first crowdfunding campaign.
Yes, sir.
So the process of going from concept to book to crowdfunding, did you experience any of that that frustration or that tediousness in the process, being overwhelmed or not sure where to go or what to do?
Okay, the things like this is gonna sound like I'm tooting my own horn,
Please
but
do.
I'm a very driven guy,
Yes.
and the things like I've more so and this is what I hear. People are afraid of rejection of their art, more so than anything else. That's like, and the thing's like, how do you overcome rejection? Dude, cold approach women and hear no for a while. Like that happened to me a lot. Do stand up comedy, because when you like bomb in stand up, like there's nothing worse than that. Because people look at you funny, and it's a combination of disgust and pity. I've experienced that. So having somebody tell that I don't like your art, like that's not.
It's not a big deal, right?
It's not a big deal. And dude, like doing 72 pages, that's like my first book. Dude, coming from animation, when you have to do like 24 drawings per second,
Yeah.
it's a whole different thing. But dude, it's a lot of hard work. This is hard work too. So that's the thing, dude. Just put your head down, do the work. Because doubt is always going to be there. There's always going to have this little voice telling you not to. Oh my God, you suck, or you could be better. Of course, you could do better. But
People
dude,
rejected. Yeah, Johnny. Welcome, Johnny Cage.
Yeah,
so
what's up,
here's
Johnny Cage?
here's the deal. I used to be worried about that. Then I realized art is so subjective that some people aren't going to like it no matter what you do.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that really solidified that is we've got just a really talented artist working on Rift Riders, John Dillard, just a tremendous artist, very competent in everything that he does. And someone looked at the campaign and they said, "Oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
that art sucks." And I'm like, "What? That art? No, it doesn't." I'm like, "That. I mean, that's fantastic." And I'm like, "If you think that art sucks, you would hate my art, you know." But then it just made me realize that if someone is, you know, I don't know what their standard is, but if they think that sucks, they're going to think anything sucks, most likely. So they're probably the kind of person that just sucks up only one artist style. They probably got their favorite artist that they sent for, and if you don't draw just like that artist, then your work sucks, right? So
it's like tea, you know.
Yeah.
Not everybody likes green tea. Some people are for Earl Grey. Art is the same thing. Like I remember, I was invited. Like I didn't seek this out. I was invited to Fractober last year, and I challenged Frega, and he mopped the floor with me. Like I don't care. But one comment stayed with me to this day, and this is just like, okay, I have to get better, because this guy's like, this looks like it was drawn by a child. It's like, I don't know, man. I've been doing this for 20 years. And
I'm gonna have to fix that, I guess.
yeah, the thing is like, the way I see it is, I know what I've learned. I get paid for this.
Yeah.
So if somebody doesn't like it, okay, I'm not your cup of tea. And the thing is, like, I was doing, like, I maybe made a mistake because I'm not an inker, and I try to do like traditionally.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the inks were not really there. Like all the structure and the perspective, everything was good, but the ink was not there. And that guy didn't like it, and he said that. Now I'm not gonna like go turn up the light and like sit in the shower and rock myself back and forth with a bottle of whiskey because he said that. I'm just gonna draw more. I have to get better at inking. That's what I took out of that. No, so it's a matter of, dude, like, not everybody's gonna love you.
Hey, we just got a backer for Private American.
Yeah.
You know what? I think that deserves a little dance, guys. You guys feel like dancing? Let's dance. Yeah, I like to dance.
There's something I've noticed lately, and I think we have to, for the people who are trying to get in, because I watch a lot of these, I talk to a lot of people. I see three basic classes of artists who do crowdfunding, and the three people who make money are the people who are famous for something else, the people who are very attractive, usually female, but not always, and the ones who are extremely good. And the amount of money when they succeed usually is in that order, unfortunately. And this isn't a shot, okay? No. I know I was blessed with a face for radio, but it can be very hard to get up the nerve to try this for a lot of people when you look and go, wait a second, okay, especially if you're honest in your assessment about your work. Yeah, that's true too, Hojo. Art not shown as art that's not appreciated.
Good morning, Replicant. Yeah.
Oh, hi.
Replicant
I don't
art is
think
hard
I've
to.
ever
I
seen
don't think I've ever seen Replicant
comment
here.
during
Yeah.
the day.
Yeah.
I thought you were purely nocturnal or in a place of the world opposite.
It's like Mo Biggs. Like, you're not going to see Mo in the morning. It's not going to happen.
No.
Yeah, it's
But
not going to happen.
so I think part of it is there's this gap of expectations where people set out to do their first crowdfund, and they see these people who are making, Eric July money, or even now. Here's an interesting point to cross. Mike Barron has been in the field how long? 20, 30 years,
40
right?
years. 40 years.
40 years. Controversial.
No,
but,
maybe 30.
Okay, we'll say 30.
We'll say 30, yeah.
And wiggle room. I'm not trying to defend him. He seems like an interesting guy, even though we don't quite agree. I have tremendous respect for him. And I love that kind of person, because that's where I can test my ideas and go, am I right? Well, this is what you say. Let me think about this. But his book, with all that background, all that experience, is nearing 20 grand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Eric July's first book cracked
With
a
no
million.
experience.
Cracked 2, right?
3.8 million.
Oh God, it cracked. I lost track after a while. I'm sorry, that's
$3.8
ugly
million,
money.
yeah.
I can't say it without
Yeah.
know?
How much money? Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you what. It wasn't written as good as any of Mike's books.
And that isn't me giving a bash to Eric July in any way, shape, or form. But people need to both get that it's incredibly relative in all independent creation, because I'm probably the most diverse. Well, no, Pedro's right up there with me. Diverse in concept guy, where it's like, I work on games, I work on novels, work on different things. It gives you a different perspective than just all people do are comics. It's a different angle. And I think back to, because I'm published through Amazon. I do not make a lot of money, but I do know that last month I made more money than I made in the first 4 years.
Thanks for stopping by, Stat. It's good having you.
Of what I do. And it's still a tiny amount, but that growth is exponential. You have to build off of that.
Yeah.
So you can't go in, if you go into this expecting to be the big thing, you're most likely to be heartbroken. And you have to you have to lowered expectations.
Yeah, there's a mitigation to expectation when it comes to this kind of stuff.
The thing is, we're running for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, you can be the big thing if you compare to yourself yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's the healthiest way to go about it. Dude, Eric July worked on his platform. He basically cultivated his platform, and that's why he's where he is. And dude, I don't count other people's money. Dude, I'm really happy for Eric. This is his first comic book. It's bound to have mistakes, because dude, nobody is born perfect.
Right.
Maybe his attitude towards criticism is a little bit not to my taste, but hey, it's him.
Right. Yeah, that's me too.
Yeah,
but here's
him.
Here's what I tell all young creators. My friend Bunny is working on a book. So Cooper from Telepathic Bunny Comics is working on a book. Now Cooper is very vocal about his criticism of writing. Okay, very vocal. I said, look, the more vocal you are about criticism, the more criticism you're going to receive.
Exactly.
The more on point your stuff has to be, and that's where Eric is failing in my opinion, which matters nothing. Keep that in mind, guys. My opinion matters nothing. Okay, but in my opinion, he came out very vocal about his criticism towards the Big Two, which means his first offering has to be immaculate, and it was not immaculate. It had editing issues. It had story and conceptual issues. It had just simple mistakes that at this level, even at this person right here, who's made 12, 13 books, it can tell you, look, that's a mistake that I made before that I won't make again.
And it can be
learned,
avoided,
Yeah, but when you come out swinging like that, you've got to land your punches, And then when he didn't land his punches, his attitude towards criticism has been really poor, and it's not for my liking, my taste either.
Mm-hmm.
And this is coming from a guy who is a hardcore Ripa fan. I mean, hardcore Ripa fan. Nick will tell you, I loved his videos. I'd watch them when they came out. I loved his opinions on things. I'm like, man, this dude's speaking truth, about things, and I really appreciated it, and really became a fan. But at the end of the day, I'm a comic book fan, and I'm going to make my assessments as a consumer based off of the product, and that's what I had to do.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And I still like Ripa and his opinions.
Yeah.
I just don't care for his comic book.
And that's something that needs to be. We've lost. There's almost a deification of if you agree with someone nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, if you support this person's belief, you have to support everything they do 100% or not at all.
Yeah.
And I don't do that, it's I've made no secret of my opinion on the former president. But I'm still pro 2A. And I've had people, you have to, so that same logic can go with when a big personality manifests a creation. I can like the creation and not like the man. I can like the man and not like the creation. That's how I feel about Lovecraft. Lovecraft was a racist, xenophobic nut job, but he knew how to write horror, True. And I can read it and go, this is good, that's BS. This is good, this is good. It's called critical thinking.
Sorry.
And the only way to function as an adult in a world where everyone's trying to codify, algorithmize, and force you into slots is to critically think everything and to be willing to stop and take a breath and just push away and go, wait. No.
We don't have to share a hive mind.
No. And I think that it really is the engine of targeted consumerism. Because I like real capitalism. I have crazy ideas like, if you do work, you should be rewarded for your work.
Oh, that's crazy.
Wow.
In proportion to your work. This mind blows, I do think we've scrambled what those values are, and we need to just do a hard reset. Because, I love, I can enjoy watching sports, but I don't think the value of somebody putting a ball through the hoop is higher than the value of somebody who spends their life teaching kids how to read.
No,
I'm sorry. Yeah. I'll never see that from a societal, these are not equivalent.
Yeah.
But we need to be able to talk about these things. And as independent creators, we're choosing to be, to sometimes make less. Because there are a lot of things that a lot of us could do where we would make much more money, much faster, if we would just play nice with whatever system we're being presented. And I admire the courage and sacrifice that it takes. But if you're going into crowdfunding and you don't have a big platform, first off, how about making sure, if you say, I want to make a comic book, then maybe you should get in the chat on shows like ours. And one, educate yourself how to do it so you don't have to repeat other people's mistakes.
Right.
And
there's so much knowledge that gets dropped out
it's
there.
Free. We're literally, we just had Mike Barrett hand out.
Dude,
we could split that between Mike Barron reads Fox News, and one of the best writing lectures I've heard outside of college, and better than the vast majority I heard in college, because frankly, a lot of the people who were teaching writing in college did not know how to write. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in a mood.
Yeah.
Nick, you should have right about that. Observations from a Rational Mind. Yeah. Take it, man. Do it.
But if you want the thing and you're scared of doing it, come on shows like this. Do this. Make a name as a person, and then share your art around. And then when it comes time to say, like, I'm not doing this, at least not right now. But if I said, you know what, I'm doing a book. I'm doing a book start to finish. I have an IP I'm working on. I almost did this with Paul Bunyan, but I kind of got Luke made me an offer I couldn't refuse, and I caught a whole lot of flack for not. I caught flack. You do not know for not doing the art for Paul Bunyan Kaiju Slayer, at least this time.
Nice.
But if I did it, at least people would be like, wow, Nick's got a book? Okay, I'm going to look at it, because I've built a mild platform, and I'm not a bigwig by any name, but enough people know me that you know what I'm about, you know what I'm probably going to write about, and you know what kind of art styles I lean toward, because I put my art out there. You'd be able to predict a lot about my book. That's going to get you more audience than being a complete out of nowhere newcomer. So I think you have to do that. Let's see, what does Blue Teddy say? Hi, Blue Teddy, I love you. Yeah, I really don't care if someone lives up to their own criticism as long as they keep reaching for the end goal. Yeah. But taking criticism, see,
that's there's the thing. It's how do you take that criticism?
Exactly.
When it comes at you.
There are things I cannot abide. I cannot abide a bully. Okay, I really cannot functionally. Like, it starts becoming like the old Chicken Boo cartoons with me, where everybody's like, "This is a great guy," and da-da-da, but he's a giant chicken. I don't know if you remember those cartoons, but I always associate with that guy who's like, "But he's a giant chicken," Yeah. And that's how I feel about bullies. The other thing I can't stand are these people who are hypocritical and hypercritical. That mix.
Oh yes.
Of you smell like an outhouse, but my poop don't stink.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't. It's like, dude, whatever. I'm gonna go over here and
gotta bounce, man. Yeah, I'm out. Forget it. It's like
I don't want anything to do with that, because I don't want to reward bad behavior.
Yeah, that's how I'm leaning right now with that one particular person. But honestly, so here's the deal. I mean, as a crowdfunder, there's also all these websites and videos out there. Tons of videos on how to crowdfund successfully, right? And they're all claiming that they've got the magic formula.
The secret sauce?
The secret sauce. But here's one thing you'll notice about all of these people that say, oh, well, we crowdfunded and we made this much money. Look at the number of views they have and followers they've got on YouTube, right? Chances are they've got about 10% of that in backers.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever following you've got, active following you've got, like I'm not even counting all of my YouTube subs, because some of these people aren't active. They've subbed a long time ago, or they've subbed recently, and they didn't ring the bell, right? So they're
wait,
but it's buried, but it doesn't show up.
This is a good point there. Are you watching this show today, and maybe you came in late because you didn't remember it was on? Maybe you need to think long and hard and go, did I ring that bell?
Ring that
bell. Did I set it? Did I take that step and come up to the altar of Comicton and put your bell in the offering plate? I'm just asking you, friends.
Preach.
Preach.
Ring that bell.
Ring that bell.
Hamalana.
Yes. So but yeah, it's active audience. Ripa has 400,000 subscribers on YouTube,
that's awesome,
and
man.
that's a lot.
Awesome. Yeah.
Guess how many customers he had on his first book?
10% of that.
40,000.
Yeah, exactly.
10%, around 40,000. 10% of his audience bought his book, and that is That's why we say things like mailing list is important.
Yeah.
Engaged followers is important. People use YouTube as their mailing list. That's how Michael Bancroft is so successful, and why the Bancroft bump is a real thing, because he has engaged followers and subscribers. You know, a lot of channels like mine, I don't have engaged a lot. I do. The ones that are engaged are super engaged. They're amazing. But I've got a whole bunch of them that they're here to watch the pre-recorded videos. You know, that's what they're for. They want those kind of things, you know, different content, because I produce different kinds of content on my channel. So they're not all engaged with what we're doing right now. Right?
Yeah, but like, I don't want this to sound like I'm ripping on Ripper, ripping on Ripper. On Rick July, but dude, but it's like the topics he chooses to are very, you know, confrontational.
Yeah, and that draws.
Yeah, his platform
audience.
is built around that. Like what I want to do, and it's going to be a slow process. So I'm not thinking of becoming a millionaire in the next 2 years.
True.
It's do what Jasa is doing. I don't know who that guy is. So Jasa is you know Shadiversity?
Yeah.
Well, his brother Jasa has an animation channel, and he basically
I did not know that.
Yeah, he teaches people how to animate, and he has a huge channel. I'm gonna do that.
That's
what you do, right?
Because Shadiversity is definitely in my
well, building a platform on positivity is a lot harder than building a platform on conflict.
It also holds. Oh, I love Draw with Jazza is a different thing.
Jazza, yeah, there you go.
But
and the cool thing about Jazza is that he teaches people from an Adobe Animate standpoint. Like he grew up animating in Flash, and he does it that way. And I'm a huge advocate for OpenTunes. So what I'm gonna do is do an OpenTunes channel to teach people like the classic way to animate. So not really like symbology or whatever, just like, dude, one drawing, one frame. So I'm gonna focus on that. And dude, that's gonna take me time. Like it's a new endeavor, it's a new life project. And I'm gonna do comic books alongside. And dude, that's my path. It's gonna take me longer that if I go and analyze like the controversies of the day, I'm completely aware of that. But dude, like watching even EVS, like it's very controversial. Like I wouldn't do that.
A lot of hot takes.
I enjoy his show, and I will never go like criticize EVS because, dude, I agree with many of the things he said. Some others are like, it's not that I don't agree. It's just like it doesn't interest me. Like I don't care.
I have no opinion.
Who started this mad at who? It's like, dude, this is so childish. We're 50-plus-year-old men, like challenging each other to fight in an alley. It's like, dude,
so stupid.
Dude, somebody's gonna throw his back. It's gonna be very sad.
Someone's gonna hurt their sciatica.
You know what though? That's why we need more political rings. I really believe that any political entity, senator, whatever, if you want to duke it out and you take it where you've gone from being civil to, you know, your wife's a whatever. No, you signed up on the line. Back it up. Get in the ring. I don't care if it's two 80-year-old dudes duking it out. I would sit and watch, you know, the CNN live coverage of the congressional boxing games. You know, where, you know, Senator so-and-so said something to Representative so-and-so about his special needs kid. Let's see him in the octagon. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. That's terrible.
Yeah,
Go on.
That would be funny. I would pay to see that, though.
I don't know, man. There's some things I don't really like the elderly. I don't know. Like, I want to be a dignified elder.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. And my point is that if they're acting, that was hyperbolic, because if they're going to act like teenagers.
Yeah, exactly.
I was a substitute teacher for a long time, like long term and stuff. And back in the old days, high schools had throw on, and they had big padded boxing gloves. You know what I mean? They weren't quite if you guys are really gonna fight, fine. You know, we're either grabbing the wrestling coach and you can settle it, or we're gonna put some gloves on, you put some mouth guards, you get it out of your system. Can we go on with the day?
And those kids will end up as friends after the fight.
Absolutely.
I always did end up as friends after I fought a guy.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you know what? You can take you can throw a hit and take a hit, man. That's
Yeah,
pretty
exactly.
impressive.
And
You're
I
right in
mean,
my book.
to finish my point, there are
Yeah,
two things
please.
I don't enjoy. I mean, they can do it. I'm not saying don't do it. Just don't
No.
do it in front of me. Elderly having sex and elderly fighting. It's just, dude. I know that happens, but turn off the light. Like there's
Turn off
nothing
the
to be
light.
advertised. Yeah.
Don't broadcast it on the internet, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Yeah,
and
leave that alone.
that all jokes and horrible aside as that is like the basis of like 99% of my beliefs.
Yeah, exactly.
Where it's like, do what you want to do, but don't shove it down my throat.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
That's literally how I feel on almost everything. Unless
Was
it's
that a-
something that overtly affects people or there's like kids involved.
Yeah.
There's like, you know,
Yeah. Was that a hot take? Like, I'm
No.
like an
It was-
ageism now.
That is about as hot as we get here.
Yeah.
that was about the proper level of
Blue
spicy
Teddy-
bacon, and I approve.
So Blue Teddy, here's the deal. That is why we do what we do at the nerdcasts that we do. It's so that we can have something that you can share. Even our spicier nerdcap, there's a little, some of the people have a little harsher language.
A little spice.
Yeah, it is. That's the point, is to not get into that kind of really crazy attitude, and that negative. Like we wind up complaining about some things and having some fun. That's why I'm the salty artist. I love to draw and complain about things, and that's fun. That's okay. But when you try to build a platform, it like that, it is a little more difficult. If you're doing something that's all ages, expect that your crowdfunding is not going to be as high as something more adult.
My boy Mike Jimmy comes to mind. Mike Jimmy Lorsha DeBron.
Yeah.
Incredible artist, incredible guy. I'm really excited because the signups for his basically trade paperback, Volume 1 of Life on Core, the first, I want to say, 5 floppies, is coming out. And there's a guy who's worked so hard to always be positive.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've watched the numbers he makes, and he does not get the numbers he should.
Right. Yeah. The book,
Because
his
right now
talent.
he's like, I hate to say he's out Disneying Disney, but I see this trend with the people I associate with, where the independent guys are outdoing the core of what the originals were, and sometimes you see it in the bigger names. The Marvel, whatchamacallit, Werewolf by Night. If you haven't seen it, is the best Universal movie that's come out in years, and Universal didn't make it. Mike Jimmy's Life on Korra.
Hey, real quick, there's an animation of Man-Thing in that. And
Yes.
The guy that's doing my cover, one of my covers and my trading cards,
Yes.
Chris Scalf, did the animation for that.
See, and that's one thing I love too. You're seeing much more crossover between the professional recognized market and the independent market. That tells you something. Because it used to be, you do some independent books, you get recognized, you get into the big leagues.
Never go back. Yeah.
And now it's people are going back and forth to do what they want, and I think that's
Well,
a
it's
more
part of that.
democratic, a free market. It's
It's about like what we talked about on Zimcast last night. Like, what is your priority? What does leveling up mean to you? Some people think leveling up means moving into these bigger publishers, and these bigger outlets. When some people that are already in those areas feel like leveling up is moving to the independent market and making money for themselves.
Yeah.
Irene Draws, is making more money as an independent artist on her own book, Fiendish, than she did working for Marvel last year.
Yeah.
Dude, like Rini's story is so interesting because you can see like the typecasting she got when she was at Marvel. Like, you can only draw girls, you can only draw minorities. Like she was like with Gwenpool and some other books. Like,
right, yeah.
I wouldn't. Why would I submit myself to that environment. Like I've already been a professional for 20 years doing advertising, and it's ridiculous. I mean, it's done by committee, 50 cooks in the kitchen. It's horrible.
Right.
If I'm going into comics, it's to be happy, not to have like an editor says like, okay, the flavor of the month is Kwanzaa.
You're an
Like,
Asian woman, so you get to draw other Asian women.
yeah, they're going to be talking
Yeah, I
like,
can-
oh, Pedro, have you
noticed
ever
it,
been to
don't
Ghana? Like, dude, I'm not African. But you're black. You can do like the black experience, right? It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
I don't want that in my life. I don't want that in my life.
That poor dog. She's got the big cone on, so she
Yeah,
just
the
makes
cone
all kinds of
chain.
noise going through the house. The poor thing.
That's the
And she
cone
has to go
chain.
bark at the door, and nobody takes her serious now.
Oh,
Like they used to take her serious when she's barking at the door, right?
yeah.
Now she just got her. She puts the cone up against the door, and she's barking, and it's just like barking into the the
Makes
cone's right
sense.
up against. It's hilarious.
Oh,
Oh my
dude.
god, that poor dog.
No,
But she has to wear it for another week. She
Yeah.
has to wear it for another week. She's she's healing up from a skin condition she just got out of nowhere.
Oh man, she's doing the whole like Dangerfield. Like I got no respect.
No
respect, I tell you.
at all. Yeah, no respect.
but
So that's I think that's part of the frustration and maybe the apprehension about going into crowdfunding is not knowing. Especially when you start looking, you said, "Look, I don't look at other people's money.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't count other people's money," and that's exactly how you should be. Don't count other people's money. Unfortunately, you do. You're like, "Oh well, that campaign made $5,000, and I only made." Here's my goal: fund. What
Yes.
do I need? What do I
Yes.
need to make this book happen, make it a reality?
It is.
If enough people can give me that money, then that is a success. And my goal is to organically grow my audience from campaign to campaign. So if I have more people backing this book than the last book, I'm doing better.
Gotcha.
My goalpost is me yesterday. As long
Yes.
as I can be better than me yesterday, then we're getting there. And that is, I think, people's misconception on what they need, or or I think that's where a lot of the anxiety comes from in crowdfunding and putting your work out.
Yeah.
We look and we compare ourselves to other people, like, oh, that creator is kind of on my same level. We create these levels, these ladder tiers for each other, and it's like, oh, we're kind of on that same level, and their book brought in X amount of dollars. My book only brought in this amount of dollars. They got this many backers. I only got this many backers. Well, you don't know all the work that went into that prior to it,
Dude, for example, a sleeper creator right now. Dude, he worked on his platform, and dude, he's first offering me like around 40K. Joe and Sometag.
Yeah.
Nobody like.
Here's the thing. I knew about Joe for ages.
Yeah.
I knew about Joe for ages. He was
Exactly.
around promoting, and people knew who
Yeah,
he was.
exactly.
He had built himself an audience without a book.
Yeah, dude.
And that's where a lot of people, they don't want to go to the chats. They don't want to chime in and be a part of the communities. Go to those shows and talk to the people.
you're
in
saying
there.
your book requires a foundation,
Yeah.
like a
Imagine that.
platform. It's
Imagine
almost
that.
like the only way to sell anything
Yeah.
is to be known by people first and,
And to
make contact.
engage your customers. Potential
Wow, it's almost
Which is-
like
which is
rudimentary
why-
business theory applies to a business.
Which is why the new
Everything.
Superman got canceled. Which is why the Damian version of Robin got canceled. Because people were actively saying this isn't for you.
sucks.
Don't
It
buy it.
sucks. Yeah.
And so everyone that normally would buy it are like, oh, it's not for me? Okay, I won't buy it.
Oh, dude,
They keep
I
saying that.
wish-
They
I
said
wish
that
they
about
were
that
saying
stupid
that, though.
movie. What was that stupid movie, that
Bro?
Ghostbusters version?
Oh,
Where they said,
God.
they go, oh, this isn't for you guys.
Yeah.
If you tell men, this movie is not for you, and then they don't watch it, it's not their fault.
Yeah, it's,
You told them it wasn't for them.
Yeah, but right now it has gone beyond that, and I think we're at the end of this kind of behavior. Because right now they're not even saying it's not for you. They're saying like, if you don't see it, you're a dick. It's like, really?
No, I'm not yet.
No,
You're
you're
like,
like,
no, I'm not.
you want culpability bucks? What's happening
Yeah.
here? It's just like, no, I don't want to see bros. I don't enjoy seeing two men kissing. That doesn't mean I want them dead, or that I don't want them in the restaurant. I just, dude, if I see them, I'm not gonna go like, yeah, grab his ass.
Let's do it.
I'm,
Here's the deal. I don't even like heterosexual encounters on the screen like that.
Dude,
I'm like, there's no point.
I had the most
You don't have to do
horrible
it.
experience in Peru. Because, dude, like I went in vacation with my girlfriend there, but we got on a Sunday and it was like a national holiday and everything was closed. So we had this like Peruvian version of Fridays.
Okay.
And dude, we're there. The food is excellent, but right next to us, there's a couple like, let's just say aggressively kissing.
Yeah.
Aggressively kissing, and you know the hands are flying all over. And it's
like they're dry humping at the tables. Like,
dude, I had to say something like, guys, do you need money for a room? Like I have some bucks here. Like,
yeah,
dude, be happy
Heaven
there.
forbid you should have your kids with you.
Yeah,
but
dude, it was horrible.
I would say that to a heterosexual couple.
Anybody.
Because
notice Pedro didn't tell
manners.
But notice Pedro didn't say what the couple was. He said it was just a couple aggressively kissing. Because that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like no, it doesn't matter who you are. You shouldn't do that in public.
And I'm trying to have a meal. So, some of the food has white sauce on it. It was not pleasant. Guys,
I tried to pull us out of that, but no, we're doomed.
Right back in there. Dang it, right back in there. But I get that. But yeah. So, you run into these issues where it's you're trying to either chase a trend to sell a book, or you're trying to appeal to a political or social group in order to sell a book. Like, oh, I'm a black creator, or I'm a Hispanic creator, or I'm a gay creator. I don't say, hey, look, I'm a straight white male Christian creator. Now, there are people that say they're a Christian creator. I also don't say that. If you notice, I don't put any qualifier on my stuff at all. I actually don't use a hashtag except for the buy one back one hashtag, which is, I think, an important one to do. And the whole point about that hashtag is buy a campaign or a book that you know is going to be successful, already funded, usually one that's above 10K, and then go look for something that may need some help being funded or might be below $10,000, and check it out. And if it appeals to you, back it.
Exactly.
I'm not telling you that for every dollar you spend on a successful campaign, you have to give a pity
offer.
back.
Yeah, you offer. You don't demand.
Yeah, we're not telling you to pity back anybody. We're telling you to make a point to look for one of these campaigns that may not have the same kind of reach.
Yeah, exactly.
And give them a chance. If they don't speak to you, don't back it.
Exactly. Like it's all about tea. Some people prefer coffee. Some people drink tea. I don't take it personal. No. I mean, dude, I made $4,500 on my first campaign. I'm happy.
That's
as
successful.
A pig at Christmas. Like, I'm not gonna say like, okay, so guys who are like at my same level made 10K or made 7K. Like, why would I waste my time doing that? It's just
right.
My first campaign, I made like $800 on my set. And I got up to the point, now I'm making like $4,000 or $5,000 on the hybrids books. We made a lot on the Rift Riders. We're $500 shy of 10K on that one, which is, a milestone, and I'm eternally grateful for everybody that's backed that and all the support that we've gotten for it. But here's the deal. I was helping Michael Oden and encouraging him with some information on his first campaign, right? And his first campaign made like $7,000 or $8,000, and that was more than what I was doing on my first campaign.
Yeah.
Was I upset? No, I was happy for him.
Yeah, dude.
He was able to find an audience.
I want to put another layer on this, because I've been published through Amazon since 2016, since end of August 2016. Okay, I can look back and see how much money I've made. I've made just under $800
since 2016
in that whole time of doing the work, and the vast majority of it has been in the last couple of years, like last 2. So I think it's okay to have the perspective as long as somebody said don't look in another person's bowl unless you're checking to make sure they have enough food.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
and keeping that perspective. This is the crowdfunding is so huge as it's a point for people to be able to jump into other things. In it itself is a medium where there's the market of crowdfund. But from that lets you branch into repeat sales and direct sales and things like that.
Speaking of which, let me shill for just a second.
Please,
There you
I
go.
have fresh books up on LukeStoneStudios.com. We have fresh merch up there. You can buy the digital versions of all of the Hybrids books that are out right now, all 8. So you can get the digital version of those, or you can get the physical version. Those are shipping out right away. So as soon as you buy them, I ship them out. Unless I'm traveling, but I ship Monday through Friday. We're shipping books out. Sometimes on Saturday, never on Sunday. So we're working, to get those out. So you can back those. If you buy the merch, there is a company that produces the merch and fulfills for me, and they fulfill quickly, and it's good stuff. Telepathic Bunny just bought a T-shirt off of there, and people are finding cool stuff on the store. So go over there, check out LukeStoneStudios.com, and you can back Rift Riders from there. You can sign up for the mailing list, but there's those stores that stuff is in stock back here and being sold. Okay, and it's alive because Nick told me, Luke, you gotta have things on your store.
And do you see what Luke's doing? I want to talk about what Luke's doing for a moment. He is wearing his merch. Okay,
Wearing my merch.
guys. This is one of my hang-ups.
I'm
when I
drinking
see-
from my merch.
Absolutely. Hey, I was playing Splitgate and I got killed by a guy named Chris P. Bacon, and I laughed for a solid
And I
hour.
decorate with my merch.
Yes. My point being, don't now Pedro wore a shirt specially for our awesome guest, which I totally love. And that makes sense. But don't come on a show that you're running when you have your own merch and wear mass-produced merch for something else.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Like, I mean,
Welcome,
I don't.
Dr. Crew.
I'll see people
Yes.
like with the Captain America logo on or something. And it's like, dude, you paid. No, just
Thanks,
stop.
guys.
Go, and if you're gonna support the small businesses, your jam.
Yeah.
Either do your stuff, or if there isn't Tropic Magic's merch, there needs to be, because good lord, is that a neat title?
Yeah. So
I
here's the
hate
deal.
that I am this broke high store.
I went and upgraded my phone yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And my typical phone case for my iPhone 8 is one that I have made from my from my merch site, and I'm getting ready to put those versions up on the store because I like to order one first to see how it turns out. But I've got a version of my own phone case, with this Chris Scalf art on it.
Yeah.
And the guy says, well, he goes, I assume you make your own phone cases. You don't need to buy one from me. I'm like, no, I don't. And so the first thing I did when I got home last night is I ordered a phone case that will be here, in a couple of, in a few days, in a week, for my new iPhone. But I'm going to be repping my brand on my phone. I mean, that's what I do.
Very
And
cool.
if anything I can make that I normally use every day, and I can put my brand on it, then I'm going to do that. I've got to do that. I'm getting ready to I'm working on having these big statues, these big busts available
I like
on the
big
website
busts.
soon.
Yeah.
I'm working on having these available on the website soon. I'm working on having the mini bust on the website that you can.
I like mini
Right now,
busts
the
too.
STL file's up, so you can buy the STL file, download it, and print it yourself if you want to. So I have
Hey,
that
Nick.
available.
Nick, you're generating cat envy over here.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Stuart's just kind of awesome. We'll come back up.
Yeah, dude. The whole thing with merch, like, dude, I'm getting the funds to start with the Tropical Magics merch. That's in the plans. And yeah, dude, like I'll take it a step further because I come from like playing with rock and roll bands, and dude, like I'm not bashing you, Luke, but like, don't wear your own band's name when you're playing.
Well, no. That's
Yeah,
no. I
okay.
come from that too.
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
doesn't count in comics.
Okay, cool. Good to
That
know.
does that's only bad etiquette when you're playing. Now you can wear your own band's merch any other time, but do
Yeah.
not play it when you have a show. Do not wear it when you're
Yeah.
playing a show.
Yeah, dude.
When you're playing a show, you do not wear your own band's merch. It's bad luck. But that does not count for comics.
Yes. Okay,
For
good to know.
comics,
Hold on.
you plaster your stuff everywhere. You don't know how many books I've sold because I was out and about and I had a shirt with a cover on it. And they're like, "Oh, that's interesting.
dude.
What is that?" Well, I write this book. "Oh, where can I buy it?" Well, go to my website,
Hold on, I keep a
lukestonestudios.com.
couple in my backpack. Here you go, bro.
Yeah. Well, I normally just send them to lukestonestudios.com and buy the book.
Luke, you're creating a monster right now.
I don't care.
In a
I love
couple of
creating
months,
monsters.
I'm gonna have like
Call
the
me
bandana,
Frankenstein.
the shirt,
Do it.
the
Call me
wristband.
Big
Frankenstein.
backdrop.
Yeah.
Do it.
Pedro, when you hop on a show, I want to see it look like you've got your whole con booth just
Yeah.
popped up. You
Dude.
know?
You guys don't enjoy my kitchen? Come on, guys. It's a very nice,
Dude,
like,
have you guys
bachelor
seen my
kitchen.
con booth?
Dude, you know,
Oh, man.
I got a better idea. You know what you need to
What's
do?
that?
Pedro, when you go to a convention, you need to get a picture of your kitchen from this angle.
Yeah.
I'd use that as your back banner. I mean,
Yes. Yes. I'm gonna do that, man. Just like
Do that at
enjoy
your
my
sto-
kitchen.
And do that at your store, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Everywhere you go, it's your back banner.
It's my bag manner. It's the kitchen.
guitar picks with your logo.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
a good
That would be.
one.
Yeah, dude. I was thinking.
I
about
did use
channel.
guitar picks with my.
Yeah.
I actually had I have a pretty identifiable signature that I worked out, and I actually did guitar picks with my signature on it, and I would
Dude,
throw those out.
That's an awesome idea. I'm writing that down. Because like a couple of friends of mine, like they want to make like a music channel. I mean, like I play with a couple of bands. But it's like, okay, how to tie that with comics? I think animation would be more, akin to do it. And dude, having a channel takes a lot of time, a big chunk of your time. So you have to, be clever about it. Because I don't want to have like 2 channels and then have no time to draw.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what I run into. Because it's a it's quite a chore to do as many books as I'm doing, and then to also maintain a channel. So I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into that, and it's very difficult to keep that balance. But it's one that I'm working on and trying to get better at, because I want to create meaningful and important content. If I'm going to take time away from drawing, it's got to be worth my time to do it. So let me show this off. So this is my my backdrop.
Oh, look at that.
Now the other side of this backdrop is my name, Luke Stone Studios, in the middle, and it's surrounded by covers and pinups that I've done. So that when people are behind, that's what they see. I actually sold a pinup because of that being behind me. Someone come around like, oh, this is the booth with that poison ivy. I want the poison ivy. And so yeah, I was able to do that. But if you see this big logo there, you can kind of see it down here at the bottom. I got my logo down at the bottom too, right? And so, but I've got my art back there, my name, my little cartoon face, and my books. If you notice, I got these racks.
I love those racks.
I got
Right.
books. I am surrounded.
Racks.
Look, and I've got my little magnets
That's a
on there.
very
I've got all
nice
my
rack,
merch
man.
sitting
Very
up.
nice rack.
Thank you. That's what she said.
Yeah.
I got all that stuff. I got my book with my prints in there. So if people want to buy a print, they can. Here, you want to see something real funny? Check this out. You see that right there? You know
Nice.
what that is? That's a Chibi Luke.
Nice. Chibi Luke.
That's a Chibi Luke. And somewhere else on the table, down in this box over here, I've got my Luke Stone Studios logo stickers. And normally, I don't normally have those at the con. Those are I slap those on boxes when I ship them out. Or I'll slap
That's a nice
Chibi on the
backdrop,
box.
man. It's a very nice backdrop.
It's 5 foot wide by 7.5 feet tall.
Is that Randy Zimmerman of Arrow
That's
Comics?
Zimmerman right
in the
next
corner?
to me, yeah.
Oh my!
Yeah, that's Zimmerman next to me, yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, so we had the Arrow Comics corner, and it was pretty nice. But yeah, it was a, you brand, you build an experience. When they come to my booth, it is like, oh, that's, and look, the shirts are even branded with Arrow Comics.
Yeah.
We've got hybrid shirts too, but we decided since it was an Arrow day, we used our Arrow shirts. Now the next con, we'll just have our hybrids shirts on.
Dude,
And
like
my daughter
I'm yet to pop my convention cherry, man.
Really?
Yeah, I've never like look, I participated in an anime convention when I had my school. I had a booth, and I got so mad. I've never done it again, and that made me hate cosplayers too. Like I don't hate cosplayers. I don't hate them, but that's kind of hard. But the thing is, like they do a Comic-Con down here, which is very funny because it's all in Spanish. So you're like, and next cosplay is Magneto. Magneto, correct. And next comes Guevardo. Who's Guevardo? That's Wolverine in Spanish. I never knew that. So it was funny like that, but it's really concentrates on cosplay and video games and not so much comics. So I have an attitude because of the conventions we have here.
Well, I'm not going to lie. That's kind of where the conventions here are going.
Okay.
It's about gaming and cosplay. There weren't very many comic book vendors at this last con that I went to. And there wasn't, but I think one or two other comic book guys that were making their own books there.
I think that's part of the problem we need to do, and this is I've been holding little tiny conventions at the local library every so often, and I'm going to start doing it more. Is those of us who have the talent of King of Fighter fans. I know exactly where you went, Cameron. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I can get my brain. I can brain. We really need to start thinking about independent-only, comics-only conventions. Like getting some sucker, and it can't be me right now because I don't have the outlay to do it. But I may where it's only people aren't. You set up the rules. We only want to see independent IPs. We don't want to see
creator owned.
Creator owned.
Not just creator owned. I don't want to see fan art of the other guys. This needs to be a place where you want to learn what's out there and do something like that. And really, it sounds gatekeepy of me because I'm not trying to.
You know what it does sound like? It sounds like a, like they have this thing called NAMM. Every year for music.
Oh, NAMM is awesome.
I love NAMM, right? So you go there to see what's new from the different companies, and they show off that season's new product, okay?
Right.
And they do this not only for musical instruments, they have security conventions like this too.
Yes.
Where they show off, like, this is what's new in security. And they also do it with guns and knives and stuff like that.
Oh, SHOT Show.
This is the new product that's coming out this season, right?
Yeah.
I think that you're absolutely right. A convention that is, and just an annual thing, like, hey, come and showcase your creator-owned IPs, so people can see what is out there and what's coming out next. Like, what are you working on? Be prepared to show off some stuff, and maybe sell a few books. I think that would be a beautiful idea. I'm not going to do it. Someone else gonna have to do it. I'm too busy building the universe over here. But maybe after I get this game and book out, maybe we can do that. But
but that's the thing. Like, for example, if I choose to go to a convention in America, dude, it's plane tickets.
An E3 Expo for indie.
Exactly.
Dude, like I have to think of plane tickets. I have to think of hotel. I have to think of visa. Dude, it's a huge endeavor. And if I go and it's a cosplay contest, like a corner.
Or
comic
for you.
I'm gonna go postal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you'll spend 10 times what you'll make at one of those conventions.
Exactly.
You can't do it. Well, here's the thing. I did not make my money back on this last convention. I made my table and a little bit extra, but I didn't pay for the hotel and I didn't pay for the gas.
Yeah, dude. So it's like a vacation. If you think it's a vacation, then sure.
Yeah, this next one, the one next weekend, not this weekend, but the following weekend it's 9.5 hours away again. It's in Clarksville, Tennessee. Yeah. I'm going because I'm trying to reach a new market. I'm trying to expand outside of Florida, and be able to hit, get my books in people's hands that are not necessarily just my locals. you know, or
Luke,
just people.
I think I know how to save you some money, and I apologize for this ahead of time. Because of your destination, you just need to take the last train to Clarksville.
You
know what? I might meet you at the station.
Will you meet me at the station?
Yeah.
You better meet me at the station. I waited for you.
Oh man.
I waited for you and I didn't see you there.
Oh no.
Hojo says section it off. Show new digital tools and techniques, paper samples, writing workshops, color.
No, that's amazing.
That would be cool, and you could also have printers come and showcase. Like, look, if you're an indie guy, we do on-demand kind of printing. You know, we're here to help you with all of your.
Dude, just like panels, but not like panels. Like here's Mark Ruffalo or whatever. Like, dude, how to build up your channel. You know, stuff like that. Like, dude,
best ways to sell to an independent market.
Exactly.
I mean, frankly, panels like we do on the show, but in person.
Yeah, like RJ. Yeah, like RJ doing from Critical Blast, talking about his fulfillment offerings for people in the States, for out of, you know, even for anybody doing fulfillment.
Dude, I'm the poster chat for RJ right now. Like, I'm ready to go there with a cup. Dial this number.
No. You know? If you set something up like that, and then you set up a good network thing like Luke is building here, where we're going to be doing this, but this part is going to live stream the whole thing from this one. We're going to live stream this. We're going to have Randy Zimmerman doing his art tutorials right here. When that's done, we'll reach out to God, I lost his name, Bloodwing Angel. Mark's, you get what I'm saying though, and just you set up one room that's a classroom where it's just this is how we're doing this style of art, you know, what a panel area and a whole bunch of vendors. It wouldn't, and honestly, if you kept the admission remarkably low and the table costs low, a lot of people can make a lot of money.
Yeah, it really could work. And Hojo, if you know people in Clarksville, let them know that I'm going to be there so they can come by and check it out. I would love to meet them. You can tell them, hey, I know Hojo. And I might give them the Hojo discount.
Oh, look at that.
Yep. So, yeah, man, looking, there's a lot of great ideas, a lot of things out there, but building that audience. But here at the end of the day, there's no right or wrong way to do it. You just have to do it. You just have to jump out there and make it happen. You just, of course, you just have to do it.
Yeah.
Do it! Just friggin' do it, guys. Like, that's all, like, really. And you're going to get lumps. It's going to be hard. There's going to be moments.
Emotional damage!
There are going to be very, 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 very tough moments. And it's going to not just be some financial hits. Sometimes it's going to be some emotional hits. It's going to be tough. Yeah. But really, honestly, you know, if you stick to it and you do it, you can really accomplish a lot.
Yay! Think about what you've accomplished.
For the tough moments, I recommend the shower floor.
Clarksville, Tennessee.
And just rock a little bit.
Dr. Crow. Clarksville, Tennessee.
Oh yeah,
is where I'll be.
Nice,
guys. This is the dark moments are why carbs exist. Okay.
Yeah.
Ask the fat guy.
There's a support group here. That's why I'm going to start doing the salty artist shows, where I'm just going to draw pictures and complain about stuff. Awesome. It's just to get it out. It's for therapy, is what it is. You know, it's going to be
I'm lifting weights again. I'm lifting weights again, and that's like the huge outlet for me. Just blowing steam, like I hate everybody, and I come back, cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, it's like it's gonna be like ASMR.
This is why I play first-person shooters, so I can stay calm and happy here, and then I just purge the violence there or on the list field when I get people to sword fight with.
Exactly, dude. It's just find your outlet, dude. We're all functional human beings. Like they're trying to sell us that we need to be like pumped up with drugs and talking to strangers to feel better about ourselves. It's all within us, man. Like I don't know. Like people are always complicating things, and I'm not trying to diminish like mental illness or whatever. Like that's not what I'm trying to say.
there is real mental illness because
Yeah,
I suffer
exactly.
from it, and I take some medication for some of it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's more side effect stuff, but I'm like, wow, that helps. That being said, you still have to do the work. That's what we do. We live in a society where everybody wants to just take a pill and have it be fixed.
Yeah, go to the doctor. If you need to go to the doctor, dude.
Yeah. Go to there's no shame in it.
Yeah. Trust the process. Trust the
You
process.
still have to, I mean,
there's other options, man.
Yeah. If you have depression, if you have whatever,
Yeah.
get help. But then you're gonna have to do some stuff. You're gonna have to at one point or another decide I'm gonna force myself to take a shower, I'm gonna force myself to eat, I'm gonna force and there are days where just getting off the couch, a lot of people will be like, yeah, they're like, no, some days, especially for those of us with like chronic illness, that is a huge step. But the more you do, the more you can do. And
gotta get up there and do it, man.
Hearing that, and it's
we're
one
here.
of those where the universe is talking about it. It's important. You know, you turn on the TV and it's some weightlifter going, just train. It's like, you know what? I need to train, not weightlifting, but you know,
just getting off the couch sometimes.
Nick,
yeah, sometimes it is, and sometimes you're doing the drills.
It's a struggle every day.
Yeah.
Living in this world
like,
is
oh my
struggle.
God, I'm like working out and I feel great. Yes, you feel great, but lifting weights is not fun. Okay?
Yeah.
So people need to stop saying that because, dude, it's work. You'll feel better later, but you're basically destroying your
practicing
body.
whatever it is you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Is not fun. Eating healthy is not fun, but it's worth it. Getting out and walking a half mile every day or a mile every day is not fun, but it's worth it. And the results are fun.
If you learn to cook the proper stuff, it can be very enjoyable, but it takes work.
Well, and see, the education, the work sometimes is how you're going to find the fun.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
guys, we are past the 2-hour mark.
Oh yeah,
we're past the 2-hour mark. We have
this has been a deep show.
This has been a great show. A great show.
We
Go back and
Mike
rewatch, especially the section with Mike Barron. And what a great, whether you agree with his politics or not, he is a master at what he does.
The art was amazing. The story is amazing. Even if I'm like, wow, that could get you in trouble because that's where my brain goes.
Dude, the topic is amazing, man. Like I'm very, very stoked that somebody had the balls to talk about this.
Yeah, and here's the thing about Mike. He is a master at what he does, and he doesn't care if it's going to get him in trouble.
Right.
He's going to tackle it, and he's going to do it with a certain poise and professionalism. I can't wait for the book. I just popped the link in the comments. Please follow theprivateamerican.com. Check out that book. Slap a little bacon level in there, a little bacon grease all over that thing. Wrap it up a bit. Make sure you get your copy. It's going to be amazing. Check out his other work. He was the writer for Smokes the Fox by Justin Belmont. Check out that book and some of the new things he's got going over there. He's still in demand on Indiegogo. And try to get a hold of Florida Man. Check him out on Amazon. Obviously, he's got a list of novels that he's written, and I'm going to check out some of them because I am a fan of his work and have been for a long time. But it has been a great show. As always, the chat, you have been the star of the show. Thank you so much for being with us and joining us today. And I always know it's time to go when I see the chat start to clear out a little bit. I know, like, okay, people are getting busy.
We've done our job.
We've done our job. We've entertained you this morning, and we've given you hopefully something to think about as well, and maybe a little bit of encouragement. And yes, Blue, you're welcome for the stream. Thank you for being here. It's been
thank you, Blue Teddy.
Lovely
Always
time.
positive. It's nice to see some names I don't see all the time.
It really is.
I don't see Dr. Crow a lot. Please come up more. Your comments were fascinating.
Yeah.
And
Pedro, real quick.
What's up?
I was gonna say, Pedro, real quick. Tell them where they can find you.
Oh, you can find me at Anguilla at Twitter. I'm starting the YouTube channel per se in January because I'm getting some equipment to make it like very professional looking. But you're still gonna watch the kitchen, so maybe it's gonna be animation from the kitchen. Like I was thinking about calling the channel the Animation School, the Animation Skull. So it's like a skull animation school skull.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the animation kitchen sounds way better.
I like the animation kitchen.
cooking up something awesome.
Yeah,
In the
exactly.
animation
What a
kitchen.
wonderful Nerd Bacon spinoff.
Yeah, the animation kitchen. Yeah, there you
It's
go.
got a whole culinary
Mhm.
We love that.
concept.
So yeah, guys, you can find me on Twitter right now. Any animation needs you have, feel free to write me down. Like, dude, I'm open. And everybody who backed Tropical Magics, thank you so much. We're gonna be back on Waifus and Kaijus. You can get a copy of Tropical Magics if you're interested. So be on the lookout for the mailing list.
Yeah. Nick, before we go to you one more time, let's watch this trailer.
America's southern border has become a war zone. Human traffickers, drug smugglers, and terrorists flow across the Rio Grande with impunity, secure in the knowledge that no one will stop them. A distant federal government lectures Americans on their privilege while punishing overworked Border Patrol agents who were helpless to stem the tidal wave of invaders and determined migrants. Second-generation Cuban-American Marcos Zamora is a military vet, more patriotic than most Americans. No longer able to ignore the chaos at his doorstep, he acts. Joined by his best friend Gus, they hit the border every night, saving lives while stopping violent drug cartels and other opportunists. The government reacts with fury at Marcos' attempts to preserve American sovereignty, deploying the full might of their enforcement agencies. But Marcos understands that the only thing the rich and powerful fear is bad publicity, and he records every encounter. Whoever he is, this private American must be stopped. Illustrated by Richard Balk and written by Eisner winner Mike Barron, Private American is his version of Captain America, and maybe a little Punisher, taking part in this ongoing, violent, and very real battle of good versus evil in the war for American sovereignty. Grab your copy at theprivateamerican.com.
We have a secure border, and that is a priority for our administration.
That trailer's cool. I like that little bit with the gate with the barbed wire at the top, at the beginning. That's really cool.
Did he get Sam Elliott to do the voiceover?
I don't know. It sounded like Sam Elliott, didn't it?
Yeah.
It really did sound like Sam Elliott. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it's
point.
going
It
to.
also sounds like the A-Team intro just a bit. It's got
Yeah, it really does. It really does. Yeah, I think I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I'm looking forward to it. I like to see good guys beat up bad guys. That's what I love. I love
That's simple, right?
It's that simple. I love to watch good guys beat up bad guys. My favorite thing. That's how it is. Nick, where can they find you?
You can find me at @ntalkert on Twitter is really the best place to meet and greet because that's kind of my open thing. I am on Facebook, but frankly, I'm trying to pare that down a bit for a lot of reasons. My art can be found at deviantart.com, and I have two YouTube channels with two primary shows. Where on the Nicholas Tuckert channel, I host Nevermind the Furthermore, a collection of artists, authors, game designers, and other lunatics who come together and talk about being accountable and encouraging each other to create and the challenges of creation, genre, things like that. It's a lot of fun. It's a great networking place. I love it there. And that's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern. It's currently daylight time. On Friday nights, I host the Historical Fencing Guild, which is a live stream for the people who start out live stream for the people I teach to sword fight. And it just sort of bloomed into being a place where people can learn about the basics of swordsmanship, talk about sword fighting in movies versus real life, a lot of practical versus stuff, a resource for authors who have fight choreography questions. It's always moving and growing. All of it is made possible by sales of the Simple Sword and the Fighting Axe, both available through Amazon, along with my Big Stompy Robots games and the novels set in that universe. There's more coming there. Like I said, I'm hoping to put out possibly 3 more publications by the end of the year, maybe more, and that's not counting the work I'm doing with Luke Stone for the Oh yes, thank you. That was my son and executive producer reminding me that the Simple Spear is out and available too.
Nice.
I told I forgot.
Nice.
And thank you, son. I also, like I said, I have some great game stuff coming out. Great stuff over at LukeStoneStudios.com, where amongst his wonderful stuff, you'll find the hybrids, the quick play, still available.
Yep.
Through
we have 15 copies left of the first printing.
I still have quite a few myself. So if you know me personally and you want to drop the $15, I can
get it from Nick. Yeah.
There and the big game is coming, guys. I know it's been a wait. A lot of people have asked about it. This has been a journey of not just challenge and creation, but simply of having faith in Luke. And I can't wait to see that rewarded, because that's what you do when you have a partner.
It's not easy to do this. It wasn't easy for Nick's part. It's not easy for my part.
No.
Taking that and putting it into a package for you guys. We want it to look nice. We want it to be well done for you. I had to fire a cover artist because they produced garbage. And so now I'm in the process of, I was supposed to have a cover a week.
This is the second time we've had to go through somebody who could not meet their implied resume.
Yeah.
It really is an independent challenge, but if you think the independent comic book sphere is hard to get into, you need to look at the independent RPG sphere because like Hasbro right now, this is one of those that could be a whole nother show later. Hasbro and WotC are trying to keep everybody. They're actually working to shut down brick and mortar shops. They want everybody ordering direct from them for D&D, and it to be basically the only game people play.
Yeah, they're trying to own it all, and
they want to monopolize RPGs.
Well,
and gosh darn it, if that doesn't get me riled up.
There are so many independent RPGs out there, dude. You have no idea. People are fighting it. They're bucking the system. Mm-hmm. But the other thing we have to look at is when we launch this book, we don't want to have backer fatigue. We want to be able to hit the market when the market is prime for it. So that's why we've delayed the launch of the book right now. We've delayed the launch of the sign up because the cover's not ready. So I'm waiting for the cover so that we have something cool to show. I'm wanting one of those really cool painted covers. So I'm trying not to get something just generic. I'm wanting something very, very cool for the cover. So we're working on that, very hard on that right now. And so the plan is that once we get that cover done, we will launch the sign up, and we are planning, trying to be very strategic about when we launch the actual campaign. It will be on Indiegogo, and it will last for 60 days. We will take advantage of the 30-day trick that they got with the algorithm. So we'll do the first 30 and the second 30. Okay. Our funding goal will be low because the point is just to pay for the first printing of the book. So the funding goal will be low. So I anticipate that we will be able to fund that. So you will be getting the books. That's the plan. I'm not launching this on my own website as a crowdfund because I want to take advantage of the algorithms and the audience that's built into Indiegogo. So we're going to be doing that. But we are working very hard on all of that. There will be 10 campaigns available, or 10 perks available that are going to be like a very special perk. And part of what we're offering with that special perk is a custom dice set that is being made by Frog G. He sent me one, and I've got it. Well, it's a little out of reach, but it comes. They come in a matching box, so very, very cool. So we're getting a lot of really cool things for this. I just talked with Nick the other day. There was something else I was thinking about.
We are looking at options for more stretch goals, ahead of it, and what people want. So, guys, if there's something you would like attached to the RPG that you think would help, sell it not just to you but to other people, it's a great time to let us know while we're setting things up. So if there's something you want, custom pre-created character sheets to go with it, or maps or something like that, seriously, let us know, because we want to cater to this
even looking at
audience.
customized locking or customized play boards.
Yeah.
And we're looking at doing miniatures, like little tiny miniatures, for the, possibly doing, a tier that includes minis or some kind of miniature for it. So yeah.
And that there's so many options right now.
There's so many things that we are working on that we can do for it.
I'm all about bringing it to the people. So
we're putting as much care into this game as I put into anything else that I do. So any of the hybrids campaigns, any like Rift Riders, anything else that I touch, we're putting as much care into this as anything else, and that's why it's been taking a minute. Because I don't know if you guys realize it or not, but this time last year I was in a bad way. So I lost 5 months of my life, and so we're trying to catch back up on that. And I really appreciate Nick for being so patient with me when trying to get this thing, off the ground, because it is I had so many other things already ready to go, like Hybrids number 9 ready to go. Like
after I'm still streaming, you can go.
We will be printed. We'll be printed before we even go to print. Before we even go to crowdfunding, we will have the first run of 100 or so books already in hand. So everything is already going to be in hand because everything was already done. And so now we're really just trying to step up. And I've even pushed that back because I'm like, well, how do I sell this? Right now, there's a lot of backer fatigue. All these big campaigns came out all at once. So we're just trying to be very smart and methodical about it. So be patient with it. It is coming. But please check out LukeStoneStudios.com for all of your, for all the merch and all the books that are there. The digitals you get right away, man. I'm telling you. And it's great. You don't have to worry about it. Automatically, the downloads come into your inbox, and you have access to those for 48 hours. So you can download for 48 hours. You can download it and have access to it. You get the access to it beyond that when you download it, but you get 48 hours to download it. So if you don't do it right away, you just lose access to it. It's not something that you can just ship that link off to as many friends as you want. We put some security in there for pirating. But yeah, definitely check that out. Check out the other stuff, the merch that we've got going. We've got merch for Nerd Bacon. We've got merch for Hybrids. And yeah, you can get that RPG, the Quick Play. Got all kinds of stuff over there. Please check that out, LukeStoneStudios.com. Sign up for the mailing list. We don't send out a lot of emails, but please sign up for that. And then, try to build up more than you tear down. Leave the wood pile a little bit higher than you found it, because there's enough people tearing things down in this world right now. And by all means, please just be careful out there.
Let's be careful out there. Let's be careful out there. We had a 187 at the 7-Eleven on the corner of 4th and Main. 2 Caucasians of the male persuasion put a bullet through the cashier's brain. Moving on, I see it 211, half a dozen 459, 2 ADWs at GTA, and several miscellaneous crimes. Homicide.